Ladies and gentlemen, for some reason my microphone was not activating. We're back into it with Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney. Trial 2, Case 3. I think that's as specific as I need to be. Heather James, AQ, Flair, Solaris. James, balancing your time between Cold Steel 4 and Fable 1. That's interesting. What brought Fable 1 into the fold? Not throwing any shade. Just genuinely curious. That's an interesting sort of game. I know it's a Western RPG, but it's kind of comes out of nowhere in the context of what we've been up to lately. And apparently Dragon Quest III HD 2D has been doing pretty well for itself. Pretty cool. You're finishing up a nightmare, IQ. You're finishing up a nightmare run of Cold Steel 3. Penultimate dungeon. Anyhow, we got some bombshells, and Apollo thinks that he knows who he's gonna home in on, and he knows a little bit about the truth behind our case, but let's see how we gear up for the trial ahead. Well, this is it. Today's the day it all goes down. And then there was yesterday. Hey, nice recap for anyone who's joining on in and doesn't remember what happened 3 days ago. Darian busted in to our discussion with our client and took it right away. And he never liked us, either of us. I mean, you don't have to necessarily be liked by everybody, but that was just a flip of the dime. Why did Darian take Machi away from us so quickly, as if there was some urgency to do so on Darian's part, I think I know why. Time to bring down a little justice. Oh, that was a big bang. He is heard but unseen. Who's that talking? Valiant Grammary! I exclaimed as he walked in through the door. Normally. You aren't the witness today, are you, Uncle Valent? Ha 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 ha! A preposterous proposition! How can I stand upon the stand? Why, my secret to be free for the plucking. I might even have to sign autographs. That is why I intend to remain hidden for the entire day. Oh, with vanishing magic? Indeed! I will jump upon an express train and express myself to the next town over. But before I go, a word of warning. Warning? What? A grand grammary glamour resides at the root of all that has happened. Do not forget this truth. Glamour? Let's be honest. If I could come up with this glamour in Final Fantasy XIV, I'd never take it off. Oh, I'm sure we could come up with something. There are top hats. A spell, a sorcery, a great illusion. Miss Trucy, though it pains me to part so, I need to get in line for a ticket. Farewell! And there he goes. He certainly seemed happy about that illusion thing. Oh, big illusions are the bread and butter of a magician. You can't pull off a show without one. The big illusion is always a spectacle to remember. Usually, it involves cutting up things, like people or elephants, or the Eiffel Tower, anything really. So, he was talking about what we saw at the concert, Lamirwa's disappearing act, and Prosecutor Gavin's exploding guitar. Wonder what he meant by it being the root of all that has happened. Well, it's about time. Shall we go? No, excuse me, sir. Yes? The scheduled starting time for the trial has been changed. The trial will not be commencing until 10:30 a.m. Sorry for the inconvenience. Eh? Did something happen? This is a first. It was by the judge's request. Some urgent personal business. Great. I bet he stayed up too late last night watching courtroom dramas. Apparently, he's visiting the hospital again. The hospital? I believe it was mentioned that the Chief Justice's son is unwell. Apparently, his condition worsened considerably this morning. The Chief Justice's son? Oh, that's right. Remember yesterday morning? The judge said he had to go visit him after the trial. There's an article about it. In the newspaper. If you care to read about it yourself. Oh! He's inflicted with incuritis. Who knew that this seemingly throwaway fact used for quite possibly a gag that might actually play into the trial? I mean, it is going to play into the trial. Incuritis? Where have I heard that before? I'll let you read that article for us, Apollo. Just leave the TV guide page to me. Try not to lose the page of the funnies if you can. They're even calling back to that moment earlier on in the investigation. Well, hi there, Joshua Crane. The stream title is based off a Dragon Force song. It indeed is. And it just so happens that flames are an important part of the trial as well. So I decided to work a little bit within those ranges. What are we all talking about here? We're talking about Cold Steel 3 and 4 were on the Switch when you got them. That has changed since. Really? They got delisted or something?
My apologies for the delay. Court is now in session for the trial of, how do you say this name again?
Machito Baye, suspect fortissimo.
Right. It's his trial in any case.
The defense is prepared, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready to rock. Is something wrong, Your Honor?
No. Well, yes. It's just, I've been friends with the Chief Justice since we were students. It pains me to see him going through such a difficult time.
Incuritis, was it? That article said there's no known cure. Herr Judge, let me say with all honesty, I feel your pain. But now's not the time for tears. Now's the time for law.
Indeed. We left off at quite the juncture yesterday.
Yes, Interpol about the number, and it was the number of one Romain Toulouse. Letousse, I mean, not Toulouse. Although, now that I think about it, the name Mach Toulouse sounds like an Ace Attorney game, doesn't it? The thing is, what exactly is the significance of Romain Toulouse's name? Letousse, come on, man! And then La Miroir comes out of the woodworks to say that she heard Darian's name at the time that the murder happened. So it's gonna be interesting, gonna be good. Incurable inflammation. It is as a suffix. It's specifically inflammation. Yeah, itis is based off of everything that's inflammation, right? So if you have tendinitis, that means you have a tendon that is inflamed. For the longest time, I had what was it called? Wow. It's actually been so long since I've actually suffered from it that I actually don't remember what it was called. What a sensational ending. Who would have thought that Darian would guest star in this season cliffhanger as a suspect?
I asked the prosecution to look into this matter. Please tell the court your findings.
Darian Crescent is a member of my band, the Gaviners. He's also a detective, making the current charges serious indeed. Yet, after investigation, I found no cause to alter our case or file new charges. And your reason is? Weren't you aware, Air Forehead? He has an impeccable ally.
An alibi?
Let us review the facts again, shall we? The concert held on the night of the shooting was in 3 sets. Oh wait. Isn't there a portion of this trial where I need to use the sound mixer to find the sound of a gunshot? I think I remember that. It was, oh wow. The inflammation of the lower back. What's it called again? Sciatica, that's what I had before. So it's not an itis, unless sciatica is just the caused by some sort of itis. Anyway, the Governors ripped up the stage during the first set. For the second set, our guest took center stage. The only performers appearing were myself, La Miroir, and Machi, along with a drummer and bassist, for a total of 5. The shooting in the dressing room, however, took place during the third set. La Miroir and the defendant, Machi Tobai, had left the stage at that point, and the Governors were already rocking. This is when the 2 shots rang out at the scene of the crime. Shots heard by Detective Emma Skye, mind you. And Apollo. You heard them too, right? I sure did. Furthermore, La Miroir herself witnessed the moment of the crime. Well, perhaps I should say, she heard the moment of the crime. And she claims to have heard Mr. Letouce and Detective Crescent talking.
But that's impossible. Detective Crescent was...
Precisely. Detective Crescent was on stage, getting his groove on, no less. A perfect alibi, babe.
Well, does the defense have anything to add to this?
It's true. When I heard those gunshots, he must have been on stage. Still, there's something here that doesn't quite add up. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You're going to have to figure that out.
It appears the defense has no objections. I believe we can safely say that Dorian Crescent's alibi has been acknowledged.
Which means that La Miroir was sadly mistaken. Her testimony cannot be true.
Very well. Of course, if we disregard her testimony, then I see no evidence keeping us from declaring the verdict. If, indeed, there are no objections.
Oh, Apollo, if he declares a verdict now, the prosecutor's Gavin's case is airtight. La Miroir might have been lying to protect Machi. How can I rely on her testimony? Wait, what about yesterday in the detention center? About the case. What about the case? He wants to tell us about Mr. Letouce's death? What did he want to tell us about the case, huh? And that's when Dorian went, nope. Yeah, that has something to do with your sciatic nerve. I mean, I still don't know if I had sciatica all that time ago, but, all I know is that I had this recurring pain in my lower back, or, more likely on my tush somewhere, and it was ruining me. Only, interestingly enough, when I when I moved out of my previous apartment in late 2023, it stopped happening. You couldn't tell me what caused it to happen, but there was a correlation there. Machi was trying to tell us something. I know it. Maybe the best thing to do is ask him under oath.
Well, of court finds the defendant, what was his name again?
Your Honor!
No, that wasn't it. It was something like Marquis or, Mr. Justice.
Your Honor, before you declare a verdict, I would like to call another witness. Exactly who else do you need to hear from? A witness who, until now, has not been given a chance to speak in this court. Because he doesn't speak English. You don't mean... I do. The defense calls defendant Machi Tobaye to the stand.
Nani? But he doesn't speak English. He doesn't speak Japanese either.
There's a combination of many small factors that fixed it? Possibly. We'll use an interpreter. Interpreter? I'm afraid you'll have to look elsewhere. I only speak a few phrases, such as, I love you, and, where's the toilet? The defense would like to request La Miroir as the interpreter.
La Miroir? But there's a possibility she's protecting the defendant.
But she'd be interpreting for the defendant. Why would she lie?
This is most unusual.
Bravo, Air Forehead. Judge, the prosecution agrees to the defense's request. If La Miroir lies, I'll be able to tell. Even my limited knowledge of the language should be enough for that.
Well, if both prosecution and defense are for this, I see little cause for refusal.
Finally, some progress.
Bailiff, please show the defendant and La Miroir to the witness stand.
2 people on screen at once. My God, the DS was capable of so much more than we imagined. I suppose it's the first time for everything. Shall we proceed? Your name to begin with, if you would, La Miroir. Yes. He says, Machi Tobaye, the defendant.
There's certainly a first for the courtroom. Not that we really needed an interpretation of that message in particular.
So far, so good.
Very well, Mr. Justice, if you would.
If I would... What, Your Honor?
Would what? You called the defendant to the stand, did you not? What would you have him testify about?
What do I want him to testify about? I hadn't thought that far yet. Apollo, aren't you going to ask him what he was going to tell us about yesterday? What can I, if I don't know if he was saying? Excuse me a moment, if I might speak.
Yes, La Miroir.
Just now, Machi said there is something that he wishes to testify. Machi wants to testify about something? What could it be?
What sort of testimony is he talking about?
One moment, please. I like how they use her crestfallen animation to double as consulting with Machi. The suspense is killing me. What? What? What?
Well, La Miroir.
According to Machi, he has proof of his innocence.
What?
Anytime I say that in the judge's voice, I think of one of the voice clips from the ending of Star Fox 64 when General Pepper is reacting to the invoice from the Star Fox team. This surprise! Yahoo! Victory, Apollo! We did it! This is sounding too good to believe, and I know what that usually means.
Well, if that's true, then this is final testimony. La Miroir, Machi, please testify to the court.
Very well. Here it comes. First testimony of the string. He says that word of Letus's death came as a great shock. But if the killing truly followed the lyrics of my song, he could not have done it. He says that because the lyrics are in English, He does not understand them.
Okay. Pretty brief testimony. I see. He wouldn't have understood the English lyrics of the song. That would prevent him from following them so closely.
I wondered what he meant by proof. Why, you would only have to ask La Miroir to know the meaning of that song. La Miroir, did you ever explain the lyrics of that song to him? I did tell him, generally, what the song was about, but never in so much detail, and he never asked. As my oft-repeated warning already fled that forehead, La Miroir might be protecting the witness.
Well, anyway, let us proceed with the cross-examination. Mr. Justice, if you would.
Yes, Your Honor. Something's hidden in that testimony. I know it. I'll just have to trust my bracelet to tell me where. It worked yesterday. It'll work today. Oh, did it? He says that word of Mr. Latus's death came as a great shock. Well, it's a pretty short testimony, so I might as well press everything. Were Machi and Mr. Latus close? Yes, after we traveled along together. La Miroir, this is Machi's cross-examination, not yours. But I knew the answer. This is a court of law. We'll play by the book, baby. I understand. When Prosecutor Gavin's tough, he's really tough. Machi says he was very good friends with Mr. Latus. Mr. Latus was a gentleman, never angry. We got along quite well. I never dreamed something like this would happen. But if the killing truly followed the lyrics of my song... The guitar serenade, correct? Yes, the crime followed the lyrics of the song. The date of the killing, the burning guitar, and the bullet. This is why it could not have been me. That is, he, could not have done it. By could not have done it, you mean... It is very simple. Machi could not have done all the things that day. For all those things I followed the song lyrics closely. He says that because the lyrics are in English, and he does not understand them. Wouldn't it be difficult for him to perform without knowing the meaning of the lyrics? He did not know what this song was about. Its mood, shall we say. This was enough to play by. I told him it was a song about a guitar in love. It's not actually the guitar that's in love, strictly speaking. Oh, perhaps I misunderstood. Ah, no, not really. Yours is a valid interpretation, baby. Okay. No, it is my fault. I am too used to singing in Virginian. It is much easier than trying to understand these English lyrics. Yay, I knew he was innocent. I believe he is too, Trucy, I do. What's wrong, Apollo? You got a tummy ache or something? Something's hidden in that testimony. If it's the truth, I'll find it. Alright, what wouldn't he be sure of? He says that Mr. Lee... Okay. I wasn't really paying attention. That is, he could not have done it. He says that because the lyrics are in English, he does not understand them. The word of Mr. Latus's death came as a great shock. Maybe it's this part. Let me see. So I will, just as a safety save, I will, let me see, I'll perceive. He says that word of Mr. Latus's death came as a great shock. Okay, so I want to know, maybe the words did not come as a great shock. Okay, so, let me see. Any habits going on here? So, she is not swallowing, her hands aren't doing anything. Machi, anything going on with you? Oh, I can see his eyes. And his eyes aren't doing anything. Okay. I am given to believe that this is not the specific point that we would have to... Right here again. He says that word, Mr. Letus. Alright. I have a feeling that it's going to be Machi who is going to be giving away the, giving it away. Alright, it's probably not this piece of, probably not this piece. Another word. Okay, then I'm gonna go with my backup. He says that because the lyrics are in English, he does not understand them. So this might be it. Because that is the only thing that could possibly, like, this is the whole crux of this testimony, right? So I'm gonna proceed. He says that because the lyrics are in English... Oh! I'm sorry, Machi, but you, my friend, are looking literally a bit shifty, ain't you? Alright. Machi, you can't fool my eyes. You glanced toward her the very moment La Miroir said the word English. Why is that? And don't bother interpreting that. He understands me. Machi, tell the truth. You can understand English, can't you? What are you saying? Of course he can't. Must he continue this charade? Mr. Justice, Machi says this. I know the word English. Huh? Before coming to this country, he heard me speaking English. He learned the name for this language. That is all. What? Give me a break. It's the one with the statement that could have been his testimony. Yep, there it is. Is that such an unusual word? Is that such an unusual word to understand? Do you not know Espanol, for instance? Well, yeah, but... I am sorry, but he truly does not understand your language. Well, then explain this. Well then, I have a feeling that it's time to do a take that. How does he know the crime followed the lyrics? Have you always been such a suspicious-minded lad? It is simple, or so simple that hardly requires an explanation. He read about it in the newspaper. The newspaper? Let me look at this newspaper for a second. Borgini newspaper article. It doesn't mention the lyrics of La Miroir's ballad, baby! The Virginian Daily Bugle. You can buy it in the country these days, you know. They have already begun to report about the case in our homeland. I was right. What is wrong, Mr. Justice? Your eyes. They are quite fierce all of a sudden. Machi is lying. Maybe it's time to show them proof that he's lying. Oh boy! article about the case, it does not mention lyrics about La Miroir's ballad. I have here a Borginian newspaper, the Borginian Daily Bugle, as a matter of fact. Indeed, there is a feature article about the case. Could you read this for me, Machi? That is right. It doesn't mention the lyrics. What? What is this all about? I'm sorry, Machi. You couldn't have read about the lyrics in a Borginian newspaper. Well, looks like I can't exactly say I've broken your locks, and this isn't quite a eureka moment. You just got balatroed.
What does this mean?
But I don't see how it's possible. Yeah, I know. He must have heard the lyrics when the police were doing their questioning. Yes.
Not possible. The subject of the lyrics were not brought up in police questioning. I read the full report myself, babe.
So the lyrics weren't in the newspaper, and the police didn't mention them. The only place you could have heard about them was in this courtroom. In English, no less. I just realized that I wonder if we're ever gonna get any overblown reaction sprites. That I don't remember. If that happens, it's gonna be a good day for me to see.
A witness will now explain herself. Himself.
Machi says... He says...
Yes?
It is true. I read the newspaper. But this is not where he learned the lyrics. I was mistaken. Now I remember. You remember? He says he heard the lyrics from me.
What? We're circling the drain here, folks. Is this true, La Miroir?
Yes, I'm afraid I had forgotten it myself.
Then it looks like your foray has been jumping to conclusions again. It seems so, yes.
No.
I was onto something, I know it. I can't let this chance slip away. Time is an issue today. Mr. Justice, are you finished with this cross-examination?
What are you gonna do, Apollo? If I'm gonna keep on cross-examining, I'd better have an angle of attack. Or else... My bracelet's still reacting. Your Honor, please allow me to continue.
If you must, you must. Very well. Witness?
I understand. It was I who explained the crime followed the song.
Alright. Safety save. And,
It was I who explained that the crime followed the song. Alright, now this is gonna be La Miroir's tell. This probably isn't it. This isn't the line of dialogue. Hold on. So then... Alright, it was I who explained. There's that nervous swallowing again.
Gotcha.
La Miroir. I'm currently cross-examining Machi. Why should you be so uncertain? Me? Uncertain? Yes, you swallowed the very moment you told the court it was I who explained. I see there is little point in trying to hide anything from you. La Miroir, you are indeed protecting someone. It is not a question, but a simple answer. To tell the truth, I do not believe it myself. Then allow me to answer for you. Lameroi, you're protecting... Oh, shoot. I safety save. Well, who could it have been? Is she protecting Machi? Well, yeah, she's protecting Machi, isn't she? Lameroi, you are protecting Machi. That's why you lied and told us you had explained how the crime followed the song. I don't fault you for trying to help, but this is not the way. Machi, I believe you didn't do it, really. I trust you. But you've lied to us twice. And now you have Lameroi lying on your behalf. If this is going to work, you have to trust me, too. Your two lies cover a very simple truth. You understand English. You have to. Alright. Things are heating up. Throw the objections in flames, baby.
Witness, is this true? Do you understand English?
Yes, a little only.
Oh.
We have unlocked bilinguality, folks.
What?
First he could see, now he can talk. And you did not know about this, Lameroi? No, I did not. It is quite a surprise.
How many secrets is this witness hiding?
Last. This is last. Machi, could you tell us what really happened? No shooting! I did no shooting! So you weren't in the dressing room when I heard those two gunshots, correct? Oh, he was in there, but he didn't shoot anybody. Did someone, maybe someone shot through the window? But maybe that's not possible because it only opens a crack, huh? But he escaped the room anyway because the shooting happened and he probably thought that he was going to be pinned on it, so that's why he escaped. Apparently, the answer to that question isn't simple either. I was in dressing room, behind desk, manager on floor. Which would be after the shooting, right? Then there is voice. Voice? Or voices? Was it you and Emma, Apollo? So when Machi went into the dressing room, Mr. Letus had already been shot. And then we came to the door. Panel high up. I take off. Run away. You're away! So it was you who escaped through the air vent? As the prosecution has upheld all along, no less. The defendant has admitted to being at the scene. Might we take this as a confession? No, he's clearly denied that he did it. I no shooting! Manager on floor! Already on floor! The victim had already been shot, you say? I find that hard to believe. The defendant understood the song lyrics. He was at the scene of the crime. Tuh. This can only mean one thing. He is the shooter. I'm using very broad strokes because it's easy to deny. With evidence, Air Forehead. I mean, he's the shooter.
Does the defendant have anything to say to this?
He's clammed up, Apollo.
And let's ask Mr. Justice. Will you require any further testimony from the witness?
Is that it? Is there nothing else I can get him to testify about? Wait. No, of course there is. What is this? Oh, oh boy. So we're gonna use a different crime to get him off the hook for this crime. He's actually denying the only other person it could possibly be. He's actually denying the only other person it could possibly be. I'm not sure what that means, but hey, that's better for me, because then I go into it as fresh face as possible. Yeah. Oh, the only other person who it could be probably has some leverage over him. That cocoon has to have something to do with this. Machi, please, tell us the truth for your own sake. No. No more speak. Not to any of you. So much for your precious trust here, forehead. Hey, you're the one who didn't believe him. Regardless, this brings us to an impasse. I think I know what's happening. I'm not going to say it, but I think I know what's happening. Well, I don't know why I shouldn't say it, because this is conjecture on my part. I think Darian is the smuggler, and he's helping Machi. Either Machi has incuritis, or Machi knows someone with incuritis, and Darian was the smuggler. Either that, or Machi is the smuggler, and Darian. I have to imagine that the story repeats itself like poetry, where Mr. Kataki from the last case had to go straight in order to pay for Waki's operation. In this way, I think Machi is trying to is doing the complete opposite. He's turning to the dark side of the law to help someone else who's in need. Mind you, this is all conjecture on my part. I'm in the parking lot. I accidentally say the word parking. You say park. You're in the parking lot of the right answer. Okay then. So I'm on to it, but I don't have it quite right, or you're just not telling me I have it right, because that'd be spoilers.
It does seem that the defense and the defendant are at odds. I doubt we're likely to learn anything more of value should this continue. Oh my god.
Who knows? You do know, but
I see no other course but to declare a 5-minute recess. The defense will work things out with the defendant so that we may proceed.
alright, time to give Machi a talking to. Apollo Justice? That's justice. Better learn how to say it if you ever want to get some. Believe, I know shooting. Machi claims Mr. Letus was already down on the ground when he entered the room. Maybe it was a trap and he walked right into it? Suddenly, I hear the revolver. Close. Very close. Then I hear voice. You heard gunshots? After the murder? Yes, it's true. I hear the revolver, but only sound. Wait, you're saying you went into the dressing room and found Mr. Letus dead, and then you heard shots? If that's true... So, you were at the scene of the crime when you heard those shots? And you escaped through the air vent? I know. Huh? What do you know? I know if I open in vent, I can leave stage and backstage. So the vents went to both the stage and the backstage area. Is that what he means? Hey, he's right. Look, Apollo. Huh. Yeah. But how did you know it was connected like that? Wait, I bet his father was the architect that designed that hall or something. I hear this from magician. Magician? Don't look at me. Magician, huh? Well, at least we're clear on one thing. You've already forgotten about Valent? Machi didn't shoot Mr. Letus. Yeah, but what does that leave us with? We're supposed to say you went into the room to find the body, and then you heard the shots? That one's gonna go over well in court. Not! I don't know why I said that so loud. Apollo, you're his defense. You're supposed to believe whatever he says, even lies. That's what Daddy always told me. I'll just pretend you misheard him. Every time. So, what do we do? You're sure you won't testify, Machi? No talking. No. Well, it was worth a shot. That cocoon... I can't go home. Can't go home? So the question is... I can't go home to Virginia. I do not want to go home. The penalty for taking a cocoon from Virginia is death. That's right, it's punishable by death. Of course, he's scared. Oh well, I guess I'll just have to try a different approach. That's the spirit, Apollo! So, what's your plan? If Machi won't testify about it, we'll have to get someone else to testify. Someone else? I think we're out of time. Let's get back in there. Right. So... Machi... I mean, I have to imagine that Machi and Darian are involved in the smuggling of a cocoon somehow. So either... I mean... Does it have to do with the Chief Justice's son? Might. I mean... It's one of those things where, it is probably stupidly obvious, I have to imagine. It's like, what I'm thinking is, does the Chief Justice's son have incuritis as a way to keep that fresh in our minds? Or is it very directly related? Really lining up that parking lot. So maybe Darian wanted to like I don't know, not blackmail, but Darian wanted to get the cocoon from Virginia and then gain leverage over the Chief Justice, maybe. That's what I'm going with. I do not want you to say it. Do not say it outright. I know I'm way off the mark, but the game is leading me into it.
Court is now back in session. Mr. Justice, have you sorted things out with the defendant?
I don't want to say it. I don't want it to be told to me. I'm figuring this out as we go. You know, as you're meant to. Yes, Your Honor. We had a good talk.
Very well. So, will he testify?
Your Honor, the defendant will not testify.
What?
Shame. Never I thought this was your big chance to turn this case around. Actually, it is. The defense would like to approach this case from a different angle, Your Honor.
A different angle?
If Machi won't testify, then I know who will. I would like to cross-examine the witness in this case, La Miroir.
La Miroir?
What are you up to now? I thought we determined yesterday that Lamirwa's testimony was insubstantial. There's nothing you can... Lamirwa was taken to the hospital yesterday with injuries.
What happened?
She was assaulted, Your Honor.
Assaulted?
Someone wanted Lamirwa dead. Thankfully, she was able to save herself.
Nani? I've heard no such report, babe.
Prosecutor Gavin. Why would anyone be out to kill Lamirwa? Can you think of a reason?
Well,
think of how she is known in our country. A singer from overseas who doesn't speak English, yes? Yet someone tried to keep her mouth shut. Who could that have been?
You don't think?
I do. It was the same person who shot Mr. Letus. The killer was afraid of her, afraid of what she might say. The defense believes that something was hidden in her testimony yesterday. Something that the killer didn't want getting out. So, I understand that this is what you're saying? Namely, that there's a nugget of truth in Lamirwa's testimony. A nugget we have yet to uncover? Exactly.
If Lamirwa was attacked, this has serious implications. Very well. There were some vague points in her testimony during yesterday's trial. Perhaps we did not inquire as deeply as we might have into some. The court will hear Lamirwa's testimony once more.
Lamirwa, I must apologize. We must ask you to stand again and speak. You need not apologize. I know that Machi is innocent, and I will do all I can until the court realizes this. Let's review your testimony from yesterday. You told us you heard 2 gunshots and the shooter's voice through the window.
Oh?
So would that mean... So that means that Lamirwa heard the 2 gunshots, which were the ones that were after the murder, or did she hear the 2 gunshots during the murder, which means that the window could have possibly been open? I don't know. We're just gonna have to keep on looking into this. And that the voice belonged to Darian Crescent, yes? So then could there have been 4 gunshots? That is correct. Oh, wait! Hold on a second. So if we look at the revolver, you'll notice that there are 2 bullets. There are 2 empty slots in the chamber here, 2 empty slots in the chamber here, but we do not see the 2 chambers in the center, which means that if those 2 slots in the center have bullets in them, that there were 4 gunshots. I mean, this is some far-flung logic right here. So there might be a point in the case where we rotate the chamber and we see 2 unused slots. Actually, would that even be how it works? Wouldn't the 2 remaining slots be sequential and not on opposite sides? Unless someone could just pop it out, rotate it, and then do it all again. But, I might be onto something. Or I could be, chasing them wild geese. They would be sequential, unless someone rotated it intentionally to hide the shots fired. At which point I proved she could not be correct. She couldn't have heard any of those things. The small window at the scene was closed, and was found to be quite soundproof.
You have nothing to say to that, Mr. Justice.
I don't know exactly what yet, but I do know there's something there. There is, it seems. Much you do not know.
And yet, it is my duty to hear him out. Perhaps the witness would be so kind as to testify once more to the court.
Of course, Your Honor. Alright, what you got to say, la miroir? La miroir! I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. That's when I heard them, Mr. Letus and the detective. I heard the faint sound of a gunshot and stopped. Then I heard another gunshot. There was the smell of gunpowder. I knew I must tell someone, but I was in a hurry, so I kept moving past the small window. Past the small window? Doesn't that contradict... That contradicts her testimony, because wasn't she immediately taken away... Well, no. Wasn't she taken away by the police? I forgot the sequence of events. When was she taken by the police? I'll have to look into my court records.
Pretty much the same as yesterday's testimony.
I am sorry. I am not used to speaking much in this language. Perhaps my descriptions are lacking in some way. Yet, everything I have said here is truth. Then it is my distinct displeasure to say this. What you have said would have happened is impossible. Do I have to repeat myself? La Miroir was attacked because of this testimony. What? Trucy? Apollo, you know, for a moment there, you were pretty cool. Maybe I do better when I don't try to think ahead.
Very well, Mr. Justice. Perhaps you can coolly cross-examine this witness.
Let's do this. You're on your way from the stage to the backstage exit. As you heard them, Mr. Letus and the detective. You heard the faint sound of gunshot and stopped. Then you heard another gunshot. It was a faint sound of gunshot, you say. There was a smell of gunpowder. You knew you must tell someone, but you were in a hurry. You kept moving past the small window. You were in a hurry to go where? I was on my way to the backstage exit, as I have said. Why were you in such a hurry then? Well, I don't think that has anything to do with this case. It very well might. Please answer the question. Are you alright, La Miroir? Yes, I am just tired. Recall what I told you yesterday, Air Forehead. La Miroir suffers from serious amnesia. Please refrain from traumatizing her further. What, so we can just dismiss questions he thinks are too traumatizing? Why don't you prove a reason and a connection to the case before asking about it, yeah?
The prosecution's objection is abstained.
Substained? I forgot the name.
The current question is moot, Mr. Justice. Please continue with your cross-examination.
Miroir was attacked because of this testimony. I know she was, so something's got to be hidden in there. Maybe there's some detail we're missing. Guess we'll just have to get her to fill in the blanks. Right. Is something wrong? I know he said hold it. Is she saying the same thing she said before?
Mr. Justice?
Sorry, it's nothing. Please continue with your testimony.
Now I know what they mean about the reckless youth these days.
The one in the red over there is a shining example there, Judge. You're the last person who should be pointing fingers, Mr. Rockstar. Mr. Letus and the detective. Darian Crescent? I did not know his name at the time. But yes, It was him, the one who took the stand yesterday. How many times I need to remind you that's impossible? There's no way you could have heard him, because the window at the scene was closed. Is that why? Of course. Apollo, if we can't keep asking the same questions as yesterday, we won't get anywhere. She's right. Maybe there's a different angle that I can try? What were they talking about? Letter 1, do you by any chance remember what they were saying to each other? If so, please tell us. I have given it much reflection, but... I was afraid of this, she doesn't remember. I only heard one phrase clearly. A whole phrase? You remember something that was said? Why didn't you say anything yesterday? Though my memory is clear, I was afraid to speak. You see, I do not understand what was said. This could be it. The clue I've been waiting for. Well, what did he say? It was the other man speaking, not Mr. Letus. The shooter, then? Dorian Crescent.
Well, what did he say?
It's over. Press the switch. Now?
The switch, you say?
But what does "it's over" mean?
Switch?
Yes, Your Honor. Switch.
And the shooter said this to the victim, Mr. Letus.
I thought it quite strange myself afterward.
It is a mystery. What could it possibly mean? Mr. Justice, care to shed some light on this?
I mean, sure, I'd be delighted. It's, very vital. Maybe we could ask it to the testimony. Maybe, Apollo? From the small window, I heard the voice say, "Press the switch, now." And it was Detective Dorian Crescent's voice? Yes, I am sure of it.
It's over. Press the switch. Why would he say that to Mr. Letus?
Apollo, the murder weapon, the revolver, was Mr. Letus's, right? Yeah, what of it? Well, maybe when he said press the switch, he really meant to say pull the trigger, because his English isn't so good. Dorian Crescent is a native speaker. Oh, right. Sorry, I kind of forgot who was what. Press the switch. That's not something a killer usually says to their victim, is it?
Was there no one else in the room?
I do not know. All I heard was Mr. Letus and the detective. Well, obviously this is really important testimony. I wonder... You didn't press the switch joke, though. Failed. Oh. Don't know why that's redacted. Is it too soon to present the switch here? It might be, but I'm gonna present it anyway. Press the switch. There's only one key that can unlock the mystery of those words. Oh? Yeah, there's nothing at the scene that could be called a switch. Save the lights. True, there wasn't a switch at the scene, but it just so happens I have a switch right here. What do you have to say to this? Funny enough, this game is on Switch.
That certainly does look like a switch now, doesn't it?
The problem is, this was found not at the scene of the crime, but on the stage.
The stage?
Where the concert was held, yes. This was found hidden there. So maybe Darian wasn't talking to Mr. Latus, but is using the headset to tell someone else to flip the switch. On the stage.
Are you claiming that the voice Lamiroir heard was of someone commanding another to press the switch?
It's a possibility. Oh, air forehead. I'd call that an impossibility. Why? It's hardly necessary for me to remind the court of the layout of the concert for him. The stage is quite far from Lamiroir's dressing room. Not to mention that the Governors were in the middle of a concert on said stage, babe. We are known for being a quiet band. You can shout all you wanted and not be heard. The detective's voice was loud, but certainly not a shout. So, too, have Air Forehead's cries of possibility fallen far short of being heard. Sorry, but he wouldn't have needed to shout. Pardonnez-moi. You heard what I said, or do you need me to shout it for you? It would have been quite simple to be heard on the stage from that dressing room. Oh, wait. You like evidence, don't you? How about this? Uh-oh. Apollo's starting to be too cool for words. Using this, it'd be easy to get a message to someone on the stage from the dressing room. Why, it's this! Prosecutor Gavin, perhaps you're familiar with this? Why, that's...
What? What is it? Is that some kind of newfangled phone they invented while I wasn't looking?
This is a type of transmitter, a communications device.
Communications? Device?
From what I have heard, that thing was on everyone on stage is wearing one of these. Isn't that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Yes, actually. Therefore, talking between band members, we all had one on. So you admit that if you were wearing one of these, talking from the backstage to the stage would be simple. True, but wait. Those send out an electronic signal. To avoid interference with the audio systems, their range is quite limited. Lamiroir said it was about 30 feet, right? Look at this cross-section diagram of the concert forum. Exactly. The walk from stage to the backstage seems far, but the direct distance is less than 30 feet. That can't be! Damn. Always so satisfying to see some damaged animation from Clavier.
So, when Lamiroir heard the shooter's voice, he could have been talking to someone on stage.
You're claiming this is the switch in question? Why did it have to be on the stage at the time, baby? It could be placed in a pocket and carried anywhere. Someone could have hit it on the stage after the fact. Hey, he's got a point. How do we know where it was when she heard the voice? When the shooter said, press the switch? Well, I guess we don't.
An unfortunate situation. I'm afraid that until we know where the switch was, there's little point in debating it.
Oh. I was sure this was the way to go with this. What is this switch anyway? We don't even know that basic fact. Uh-oh. When everything fades out, you know you're at a real junction in the trial here. Wait a second. I do know what this switch is. And if you follow that train of logic to its incredible conclusion, it ends up in proof that completely changes this case. What's up, Apollo? Apollo? We know about the switch, right? We know what it is. Yeah? Well, think of when it was used the other day. Think of what happened.
Well, Mr. Justice. If you have no further information to share concerning this switch, Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Justice.
I've been remiss in not telling the court this before. I know what this switch is.
Well, it seems an offense is set upon linking this switch to the case. Let's see your evidence of the link.
You want to see a link on a switch? Hold on a second. Can I even do that? Hold on a second. You're all gonna cringe at this one. What is the last Zelda game I played on Switch? Oh. As you can see, there is clearly a link on this Switch. There he is, right there. I am getting so much mileage out of these Switch jokes, and I'm living for it.
What evidence do you have to explain what this switch is?
Why, here's what the switch controls. Prosecutor Gavin, you remember this?
Ugh, that's what? Is it another one of those newfangled phones?
This is a crafting table. It's an igniter, actually. What phone looks like this?
Igniter? You mean it's like a lighter?
Yes, actually. You aren't saying this switch is a remote? I am. This is a remote trigger for an igniter. What's that, babe? Look, I'll show you.
Yo! Mr. Justice, you will cease and desist from burning down this courtroom!
Sorry, that was a bit more fire than I'd expect.
If my whiskers had caught on fire...
Prosecutor Gavin, let me repeat myself. This switch is a remote igniter trigger. Now that Clavier has put all the pieces together, he is fully composed. Either that, or he is about to go to town on whoever put that thing in his guitar. Doesn't that suggest something to you? You're talking about what happened to me, aren't you? Ah, exactly. That night at the concert where there was one unusual burst of flame. It's the thumbnail, baby!
Wasn't that part of the stage show, though?
Prosecutor Gavin was entirely unaware such a thing had been planned, and the guitar that burned was a valuable keepsake. That's right. He got it in Virginia from La Miroir. He said the sound was amazing, before it burned, of course. Now it just kind of smokes. That guitar was literal flame emoji. The better the guitar, the brighter it burns, baby. Air forehead. Yes. I love how Apollo, I don't remember if Apollo ever objected to being called Air Forehead. Maybe the first time it happened, he made some kind of remark about it. But ever since then, he just accepts it. Kind of like how Phoenix always accepts being called wrong or trite. Don't tell me you're trying to tie these two things together. Those being the shooter's voice heard by La Miroir, and the guitar suddenly catching fire. I am. It's really simple when you think about it. Mr. Letus and the shooter were at the crime scene. The shooter was wearing a headset. He ordered someone on stage to press the switch. The switch was pressed, and the guitar caught fire.
Well, that does seem to make sense. Though something about it is bugging me. Can't quite put my finger on it.
Really? Seems pretty simple to me. Air forehead. Don't destroy what little respect I have for you. Huh. Oh my god, the chat's on fire! Someone activate the sprinklers! Here's some water. Pour the water all over the flames in chat. It helps. It feels like Clavier is slowly moving air forehead from an insult to a term of endearment. That does make sense, doesn't it? Usually he only used air forehead to kick Apollo while he's down. Now he just says it instead of his name. Whether it's although Clavier is just never kicking Apollo while he's down these days, does he? It's always some veiled help. I was expecting something a little more sensible. I guess I was wrong.
What's this all about, Prosecutor Gavin?
His simple story simply makes no sense. Think, air forehead. That night, my guitar caught fire, yeah. The cause may have been this indeed. However, the guitar caught fire during the second set. Oh, that's right, of course. The guitar caught fire during La Miroir's song. Indeed, yet the shooting happened during the third set. The two are utterly unrelated.
Yes, that must have been what was bogging me. Indeed, that's totally it. The whole premise for this is faulty.
See? His story makes no sense. Are you sure about that? Are you sure? That's two Omni-Man references.
What exactly do you mean, Mr. Justice?
Maybe it's not the premise for my explanation of the switch that's at fault. Maybe it's our premise for this entire case so far. You're out of line! You're out of line! The whole damn system's out of line!
What premise is this specifically?
I'm glad you asked. I'm saying that maybe the killing didn't take place in the third act. Objection! Magic isn't real, only spirit channeling. Magic isn't real, only this very specific magic. What's this? But Detective Emma Skye heard shots and found the body. All this happened in the third act. Gunshots rang out, and according to this testimony, Machi was in the dressing room at the time.
Where are you going with this, Mr. Justice?
Stay with me, Your Honor. He also told us this in his testimony, namely, that the victim had already been shot. We all heard gunshots, but no one saw the shooting. This is insane. It's crazy, wild, diabolical, and flabbergasting. Just before the shooting took place, the shooter was heard on his headset, telling someone to press the switch. The next moment, Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flame. We know that a remote trigger igniter was inside the guitar. From all these facts, we can draw only one conclusion. The crime did not take place during the third act, but during the ballad performance, the second act. Nani! What?
Order! But that goes against the evidence!
What does, Your Honor?
This crime was carried out according to the lyrics of the song, yes?
Hey, he's right, look! The bullet is supposed to come after the fire. You're thinking about it the wrong way, huh? Look, why would the shooter craft the events of the day to follow the lyrics anyway? It's an awful lot of trouble to go through, with little merit for the person doing it.
Well, I'm sure whoever it was had some reason.
Yes, they did. A reason that made it advantageous to follow the lyrics. You're saying that the order was reversed on purpose.
Reversed, Prosecutor Gavin.
If the criminal followed the lyrics strictly, then yes. The shooting would have to come after the guitar burst into flame. Yet, Air Forehead has raised another possibility. He's claiming that the bullet came not after, but just before the fire. Couldn't put it better myself. We were only meant to think that the guitar came after the guitar burst into flame. That was the criminal's objective. The crime followed the lyrics to a point, but that was the ruse. Why else would the killer risk discovery by moving the body? That was the final touch to make us think he'd follow the lyrics the whole way. Didn't Lemuel come up with the lyrics? Unless she was goaded into doing so.
Order! That would explain this most unusual situation.
It does. The killer changed the order of events to create himself an alibi. In other words, the killer was someone who had an alibi for the third set, but not the second.
Boom!
I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but sadly it has. Let me tell you why your little fairy tale makes no sense at all. Oh, it sounds good, I'll give you that. You've given us a reason why the killer bothered following the lyrics of my song, but I question your logic. For it's flawed from the very beginning. Flawed? Yes, a contradiction here, Forehead. One I pointed out several times, no less. At the time of the crime, the small window at the scene was closed. How could Lemuel have heard a voice through it? Oh. I know that you would like to divert our attention from this critical fact, but you're basing your entire line of reasoning on a false premise. Right. Lemuel's testimony is my entire case. That voice she heard, the shooter's voice. What if she couldn't hear it, Apollo? Look, what we do have, a man saying press the switch. And near the crime scene, we have a switch. It acts as a remote trigger for an igniter. And last but not least, Prosecutor Gavin's flaming guitar. It can't all be a coincidence. How do I make it work? I see a more direct line of questioning is required. When the crime scene was investigated, immediately after the crime, that window was closed. Care to tell us how Lemuel heard the voice? Here's the thing, though. If the murder happened during the second set, wouldn't Lemuel have been on stage performing? Unless I'm getting my order of events way out of order. Care to tell?
A key point to be sure. Mr. Justice, can you explain this to the court?
Where Lamirwa teleported from stage to the platform during the song. Oh, so you're saying she went down through one platform, and then during her transfer from one platform to the other, she heard the voice? Okay, Justice, we've got one thing to prove and one thing only. Lamirwa heard a voice, and she heard it during the second set. Think! How was Lamirwa able to hear the voice? She was somewhere else at the time! When we investigated the scene, the window was closed. The shooter had no reason to close it, had it been open either, meaning it was impossible to hear that voice through that window. Ah, it's good to hear you make some sense again. For the moment, I was afraid you might have been a Borginian too, baby. As I was saying, Lamirwa could not hear the voice through that window, so there can only be one explanation. She heard the voice from another location entirely.
What's this?
You do amuse me so. And here I thought you and good sense were back on speaking terms. Now I'm afraid you and good sense are speaking entirely two different languages. Shall I interpret for you, Air Forehead? Lamirwa clearly stated she heard the small voice through the small window. There's only one small window at the scene. Are you sure? Think about it. Isn't there another small window at the scene? She can't say why she was going between locations because she's trying to keep the secret of how she teleported.
She used the vent!
She was brought down into the vent, she went through the vent, she went back up the vent, and then she reappeared. And the reason why she can't say is because she was sworn to secrecy by Valence Grammary. That's what I'm going with. That's what I'm going with. There is, because I remember looking at this, because I'm thinking, because these are the vents, right? And I'm thinking, well, yeah. So she had to go through the. She had to. I think that's that's how it is. Because when we were looking at this, because when we looked at this diagram earlier on in this stream, it's just been in my head this whole time. Like, yeah, like this whole area over here, and now I've put it all together. That Lamirwa used the vents to get from one side to the other during the magic trick.
Huh. Oh, I know that look. He wants us to ask them. Very well. You claim Lamirwa heard the voice from another location. Mr. Justice, show us where this location was.
Lamirwa heard the voice from here, so I'm guessing I have to point to, like, the vent.
Does this look like a small window to you, Mr. Justice?
Wait, what? Anything can be a window in our society, excuse me? What's going on? She had to go somewhere. Yep. From here. Oh! I didn't see that I could, yeah? Can't I, wait. I thought that I only had this to work with, but I can actually do this. This vent! This is where Lamir heard the voice from. I didn't know that I could go to the left. I thought I was only available from that one space. Oh, good thing I figured that out before I saw it in the chat. This is where Lamir heard that voice from. But that's no small window. That's the air vent. What did she tell us? She said she's a Borginian unfamiliar with our language. It's not a stretch to imagine she called this air vent a small window. Let's see here. Wait. Yeah. The fan that I have near my desk it's a little bit too strong when I turn it on, but still a little bit warm in here. Now you've done it. You've gone beyond ridiculous and gone into ludicrous. So Lamir was up in the ventilation system listening to this man's voice? That's the only logical explanation, yes. Logical? I don't think that word means what you think it means there, forehead. It's inconceivable. Okay, what about it isn't logical? It hardly merits saying. Why would Lamir be in the ventilation system? Hiding like a rat? No offense intended to her, of course. The explanation for that is simple, Prosecutor Gavin. Isn't it, Lamir? You've been listening to our discussion here, yes? Yes. I admit, it has had me quite confused since yesterday. Yes, the small window was closed. But why should that mean I could not hear through it? I feared the prosecutor might need himself an interpreter. Oh, no! The problem here is words. Lamir, this small window through which you heard the voice, was it up high on the ceiling of a room, not low on a wall? Yes, it was up on the ceiling. What? Oh boy, Clavier. Looks like your next rock gig is gonna be at a child's birthday party as the performing clown. Witness, you will clarify this statement to the court. Are you in fact saying that you were up above the ceiling of the room? And that's where you heard the moment of the crime? Yes, in fact I was. I am so sorry. I never imagined it would become such an important point. Yes, well, why the heck were you up there? I believe it's time for another testimony. I'm not sure. I can't. May I remind you that this is a murder trial? We will hear your testimony. Tell us why you witnessed the crime scene from above the ceiling of that room. Please. Well, looks like I'm on the right track. That's why Valent came to us at the beginning and said that his illusion was the root of this whole trial, though the reason for it. Yes, I was above the ceiling when I heard the voice. Oh, look at this. We got some art, baby. I had heard there was a small window there before. It was in the middle of my performance. I had no time to report what I had heard. As to why I was there, I cannot say. I am bound to secrecy on this matter.
Bound to secrecy?
In my line of work, one has many obligations to uphold.
But you say you're in the middle of your performance. So, this did happen during the second set.
I did not witness the crime, you must understand. I only know what I heard.
Yes, but you must tell us what you were doing in detail.
Basically, Valent wasn't going to give up his secrets, instead he's subtly challenging you to figure it out. Yep, sounds about right to me. That's what this cross-examination is for, yeah, Mr. Forehead. Our mission in this court is to discern the truth. Hey there, Matthew. No obligation, no binding pact may hinder that mission.
Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination.
What are you gonna do, Apollo? I'm gonna find out the truth. She was up above that ceiling for a reason. You just have to get it out of her. There was a bit of ceiling when you heard the voice. You'd heard there was a small window there before. It was in the middle of your performance. You had no time to report what you had heard. As to why she was there, you cannot say. I'm bound to secrecy on this matter. Exactly who bound you to secrecy? I'm not sure I'm allowed to say who it was. No, I think perhaps that is alright. It is just a name after all. It was Valent Gramarye. Perhaps you know him.
Valent Gramarye? What?
You mean Uncle Valent?
What? Valent Gramarye? Who's Valent Gramarye?
Meanwhile, on the ceiling of a train, Valent Gramarye is just going, "Oh, my heart!" A grand magician, the one responsible for the illusion performed during our concert. Interesting reaction, Prosecutor Gavin. Nightmare Wow is bound to secrecy. It's going to take some hard-hitting proof to make her talk. I think I know why she was up there. But how do I prove it? As why you were there, you cannot say. You heard gunshots during the second set during your performance. You're quite sure? Yes. Why would I lie about this time?
Why didn't you tell us this yesterday?
No one asked me. I thought you all knew. I told you Machi was not the killer. I told you this many times. Yes, you did. But you never told us why. I am sorry. I was not able to speak of it. Unable or unwilling? She's not talking, Apollo. What do? We just have to prove it ourselves. Long as she's bound by this pact of silence, she won't talk. But if I can prove why she was up there, she'll have to admit it. How are you gonna do that? She was singing on the stage, Apollo. She could have been above the ceiling too. Yes, she could. I had a theory as to why too. Maybe we got the evidence to prove it. What is the evidence that proves that she was doing the illusion? Let's see. Yeah, this is a Borginian newspaper. Didn't Valent give me something? You have the recording of the show? Really? That's his... Well, I guess that is the closest... Do I have to point out when oh, I have to point out when the magic trick happened. Lamerwa, truth be told, the reason for your presence above the ceiling is quite clear, especially when you consider what happened during your performance. What happened? Yes, it's all right here on this video. Can you imagine if, for whatever reason, they decided to, in the upscaled version, they decided to actually make the real song? And she doesn't react to it because, well, I don't think the fact that she doesn't react to it is important. In fact, no, she doesn't react to the fire because she's blind, and the fact she didn't react to it was what allowed it to go over so well with the audience. As we can see, La Miroir was clearly not on stage for her entire performance. Ugh! Though it saddens me to be so realistic, La Miroir is incapable of actually vanishing, let alone teleportation. So the only explanation that she was hidden from view, and during that time she moved to the back of the forum. Apollo? What is it, Trucy? It's not nice to reveal a magician's secrets, and it's against the rules. But I'm a lawyer. I'm not supposed to be nice.
This is all very fascinating.
Magic isn't real, only spirit channeling. There you go. And apparently, laser eyes that point out people's nervous habits.
But how is it possible? There's only 20 seconds between when she disappears and reappears. She could have moved that fast. Is something wrong, Prosecutor Gavin?
This was his concert, his show. He knows how the illusion was performed.
Aha!
He's just realizing his own oversight. Let's look at the cross-section diagram again. Here, we can trace a route through the ceiling. It goes from the stage, through the backstage to the rear of the forum. Recall La Miroir's testimony from yesterday. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There was something like a little window there. That is how I saw it.
She went from the stage to the backstage exit. A perfect description of this route above the ceiling.
La Miroir knew of this because of her part in the illusion, but she wasn't the only one who knew.
What?
Just now in the lobby, Machi told me something. I know if opening the vent, I can leave stage and backstage.
He said that?
Oh, were you not informed, Prosecutor Gavin? I knew about the Vanishing Act, of course. Yet, I had no idea of the route that would be used.
Why did that magician tell me?
Magicians only reveal details of their acts on a need-to-know basis. They're the bread and butter of a magician's life, you know. Which is why he bound La Miroir to secrecy. Well, La Miroir, I am impressed, Mr. Attorney. Machi is right about you.
So, what does this mean? Are you saying you used this route above the ceiling?
I did.
Well, that's that. But I'm still a little confused.
Good night, Matthew. Why is that, Your Honor?
As I said before,
what is the point that he's trying to make?
there was very little time between when she disappeared and when she reappeared. 20 seconds tops. How could she do it so fast? Especially if she stopped to hear the shooter's voice.
That's a good question.
Can the witness explain this to the court?
I cannot.
Very well, Mr. Justice.
Yes?
It's all up to you. Do your thing. Mr. Eustace, do the thing.
What thing, Your Honor?
You need to explain how Lamia was able to teleport like she did, or I'm throwing your case out with the bathwater.
Why do I get picked on? It's not mere why I wasn't going with the program here. As I have stated before, I am not at liberty to speak of the illusion at night in detail.
Then, you'll just have to tell us what you can. We'll hear your testimony on this, Mr. Justice. It will be your truth to wring the truth out of him. Your job to wring the truth, even.
Yes, if you would, please. Right. I feel like a student before finals. Good luck, Apollo. I followed the route exactly as it was instructed. There is an emergency exit in the backstage, where a stagehand waited.
The stagehand, you say?
From there, one can enter the forum on the opposite side from the stage. The plan was for me to move there in 2 minutes. I was on my way when I heard the voice. So then, is the first Lamia not Lamia? Is it a double?
2 minutes, you say? The mystery deepens.
I suppose it was too much to hope that the judge would come up with something.
As does my curiosity. Take it away, Mr. Justice.
Right, Your Honor. All I have to do is find the contradictions between what Lamia was saying and what we can see plainly in the video. I figured it out already. I'm a magician, after all. Well, tell me. Not a chance. I can't reveal another magician's secrets, come on. You're supposed to be on my side here. No? Only one Lamia? Okay. You follow the route exactly as instructed. There's an emergency exit backstage where a stagehand waited. Did everyone on the concert staff know about the trick? Not all. Only a few that were needed to help. See, like I said, it's on a need-to-know basis. So, not many people knew about the trick.
What were these stagehands required to do?
One needed to open the emergency exit. The door to the stairs is locked, but once through there, one can enter the forum on the opposite side from the stage. Plan was to remove there in 2 minutes. 2 minutes? Yes, he can be done in 1 minute if you are running. Running? In that cramped, dark tunnel above the ceiling? Mr. Tony, have you forgotten? Dark or light, it makes no difference to me. That's true, but...
So you're saying that on the night of the concert, you made the trip in 2 minutes?
Yes, though I nearly didn't make it in time. You see, I stopped halfway. Lamia disappears on the video for 20 seconds. But she says she made the trip in 2 minutes. How? If you want my professional opinion, I'll bet the the answer is right there in that video.
Well, Mr. Justice, perhaps you have some evidence for us. Something that explained the discrepancy between the video and our testimony.
Evidence explaining the testimony? I'm guessing it's going to be the video. There's one piece of evidence that explains the discrepancy between the video and the testimony. Is it the video itself? So they are on the stage. Do they have to... I don't present the, Okay. There's one piece of evidence that explains the discrepancy between the video and the testimony. What is this evidence? Did I put myself into a corner? You have something that shouldn't have been there at the scene of the crime. Something that shouldn't have been there at the scene of the crime. Attorney's badge. Lyric sheet. The brooch? Oh, I'm right about the tape. Sounds like this wasn't it. Oh wait, it is the brooch, because she passed by very briefly. Yeah. Lemurois, do you happen to remember this brooch?
Aha! A brooch! We all saw that yesterday, did we not?
It was found at the scene, Your Honor. And you're bringing this up now. Why? I thought we'd already determined that when it dropped. So did I, but we hadn't. Take another look at the video. Brooch. Here, you can see she's wearing the brooch.
So she is.
Let's take a look a bit later. Oh, look at that! No, the brooch is now a noach.
What? A brooch! It's gone!
What? Yes. The brooch disappeared in a short space of 20 seconds. It takes a full minute to run from the stage to backstage. Which means there can only be one explanation. The La Miroir we see before the Vanishing Act and the La Miroir we see after are two different people! What were you trying to say about one La Miroir?
What?
The brooch was found on the floor of the crime scene. Oh, wait. So... And not just on the floor, but on the floor directly beneath the air vent. La Miroir, tell me, did you drop the brooch on your way from the stage to the backstage? So let me get this straight. So, La Miroir... How can there be... So, when she disappears from the La Miroir who disappears from the first tower is not the same person as the one who reappears on the tower. The La Miroir who she's already gone before that even happens. She's making the trip before she vanishes in the first part of the first part of the performance. So the La Miroir who vanishes is not the same as the La Miroir who reappears. That's what I'm trying to say. Did you drop the brooch on your way from the stage to the backstage at the very moment you witnessed the crime? Yes, I think I did.
Order! Prosecutor Gavin!
From your expression, I gather you had no idea this was the case there, Judge. I, of course, knew about it.
What?
Don't get me wrong, I wasn't hiding it. It just never occurred to me that the switch and the shooting took place at the same time. So, I was right. There was a switch. There was. Just before the stage's tower rose, La Miroir was replaced.
While we're on the subject...
Yep, that's what I said. La Miroir was replaced before the tower rose.
While we're on the subject, just who was this replacing La Miroir?
Why, the man behind the illusion. Valent Grammary. It was Grammary? That's quite the illusion. But I still don't get one thing. Yes? The switch happened before the tower rose, correct? So you weren't on the stage. That's right. But this fake Lammerwa is still singing, and she's pretty good.
That's true.
Come on, Apollo, that's an easy one. They were just playing a recording. The Gaviners are on some kind of air guitar band, Fräulein. Oh, you mean I'm wrong? When we play a show live, we play live. No recordings. Perhaps you can explain, Lammerwa? Very well.
Yes, do tell, and add it to your testimony.
I had to keep singing, even while I moved. You were singing? Yes. Mr. Gavin expressed a dislike for recordings, so I used this. Wait, so you were singing the whole time? Even when you were crawling above the ceiling toward the backstage? Why should it matter where I sing, when everywhere I go is the same darkness?
But if you were singing while you were walking...
That's right. Wouldn't the shooter and victim have heard? She was singing right over their heads, after all. That is right. Are you sure? You'd have to be pretty hard of hearing to miss someone singing in the ceiling. Once again, we come back to the state of the scene of the crime. What state? I know what he means. That old speaker, Apollo. The speaker? This one in the upper left. That speaker was blaring at the time of the murder. Ah, that's for monitoring the stage from this room. Monitoring? It pipes in real-time feed from the stage microphones, useful for knowing when your set is coming up. Satisfied. That dressing room was fitted with a large speaker for playing a direct feed from the stage. At my request, actually. So, Lammerwa singing in the ceiling sounded just like Lammerwa singing over the speaker.
Ingenious! Her voice was hidden by her voice!
Lammerwa, I have just remembered something.
Do tell!
When I heard the noise, the gunshots, yes? It startled me, so I stopped singing.
What?
I forgot the words I was supposed to sing. The song stopped? Thankfully, it was the very beginning of the second verse, so not many would notice. Forehead. Uh-oh. He's even dropped the air. You know he's serious when he drops his verbiage. That mixing board I lent you, where is it? The mixing... That machine, Apollo. The one that breaks music into tracks. Oh, this. I completely forgotten about it. Let's take a listen. Alright, so there would have to be a delay in the song while she's off the stage. Ah, yeah. The song was fire, even before the fire. Wait, what? Oh, the song does stop there. Of course, it's not... I just established that Lammerwa was long gone before the double vanishes. It does? I must have missed it. Look at the lyric sheet at the top of the second verse. See where it says, pleasure, pleasure? Now listen again. There's supposed to be a third pleasure. Oh?
This is evidence indeed. I believe we are guilty of making a terrible mistake.
The crime didn't happen during the third set. It happened during the second, during La Miroir's ballad.
If that is true, then no one on stage during the second set should have been the shooter.
Which means that Darien Crescent could have done it. He wasn't on stage for the second set. Well, Prosecutor Gavin, fascinating. I don't believe I've ever seen a trial turned around quite so thoroughly. Yet one problem remains.
What's that, Prosecutor Gavin?
For its theory does have a certain kind of logic to it. Yet it's entirely based upon La Miroir's testimony.
Yes? Is there a problem with this?
Well, it's quite simple, though it pains me to say it. What if she's lying to protect the defendant? But you have no proof. All I'm saying is that the truth is as yet unclear, until we hear directly from the man himself.
The man? You don't mean...
Yes. Though he is a friend and a band member, Darien Crescent must take the stand. I see no other way.
As someone with a new perspective on the case.
As a suspect, to be frank. Finally, the rat's coming out of his hole, and I'm ready to catch him. Darien Crescent, get ready for justice!
This is as good a time as any to pause for a brief recess. The prosecution will summon the witness. Have him here and ready by the time we begin.
I'm the last man who needs to be reminded of what his duties are.
Very well. This court is adjourned for a 15-minute recess.
Oh, man. Am I going to have to stay up way after reset time in order to finish this off? Because I might have to call it here in order to, well... You got this last bit? Is it going to be as long? It's just trial stuff? You're in for the long haul? Alright, chat says that we're in for the long haul. Let's do this. Actually, let me go ahead and real quickly get something to munch on, because I actually had a really early lunch, so I've been feeling hunger pains this entire time, so I'm going to go ahead and give my old fistful of nuts special. You've got this. It's the Turbo, baby! Now, good thing I brought over some pretzels too. Usually don't like eating on stream, but I'm feeling the munchies. I'm sure that in the 15-minute recess, Apollo got himself some peanuts also. It only makes sense. He visited the peanut gallery. Apollo, I can't believe it. It really happened during the second act? And right in the middle of La Miroir's performance? The reason why she was in the air vent and that switch and the flaming guitar, when you link it all together, that's what you end up with. I knew you had what it took. Hey! It's the Phoenix Man. It's the right man for the job. Ah, Daddy! And then Phoenix is also eating peanuts. Everyone here is eating peanuts. Mr. Wright, you believed in me. Not really. Eh? I just thought that'd make a cooler entrance than say, hiya. Why do we even bother hoping? If the eating is bothering everyone, I'll slow it down. Where have you been lately, Daddy? You haven't been coming to the office at all. Sorry about that, Trucy. I'm on a secret mission. Secret? You mean like you're undercover? Like Mr. Letus, only shorter and not as well dressed. Oh no! What if you were shot too, Daddy? Would I do a thing like that to you? Anyway, I'm off for a while again. Huh? You're leaving? Oh, one thing before I go. What's that? Good luck. Right. Is that all you came to say? I think you have things pretty much under control. You'll get Machi to buy you off the hook, no doubt. Yeah, but you're after that detective, aren't you? Darian Crescent. It won't be easy proving he did it, especially not under the current court system. The current court system? What did Prosecutor Gavin say during the trial? Your case is based on one fragile assumption, namely, that our Diva Define is telling the truth. But what about all the proof? The brooch, and the switch. A piece of jewelry, and a lyrical blunder. There are plenty of other ways to explain these things. The flaming guitar, too. All because you lack definitive proof of their connection to the case. But if the sultry songstress is lying, your case melts like butter in a frying pan, leaving behind the faintly singed scent of failure. So what do I do? Like I said, good luck. And be aware that it will be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Ugh. Oh, that reminds me. I have something to give you from our detective friend. Detective Sky. Emma? Let's see. This bag of snacks here was meant for me. Ah, they weren't snacking on nuts. They were all eating snackoos. Munch, 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 munch. Nom, 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 nom. Ah, here it is. What are those, Daddy? They don't look like very good snacking material. They were found at the scene. Analysis of the fragments revealed traces of gunpowder. Gunpowder? Probably a firecracker or something similar, like the ones the kids are into these days. These fragments were found under the sofa at the scene of the crime, actually. Under the sofa? Hey, Apollo! That's where you found that little device thingy. Right, this. Well, finally, some evidence that makes sense. Is it more forged evidence, Phoenix? That's all from me, I suppose. See you after the verdict. Maybe. Right. Every man has an igniter inside him. Ooh, that's a good quote. Which is my where's my screenshot button? I remapped a screenshot to something. Hold on a second. Do I even have... There's a shift. Nope. Did I unbind it? I might have unbound it. Oh well. I'll just print screen this. Excuse me? Find Darian Crescent's igniter and set it off. Phoenix out! And he walked out the door, just like a magician, normally. What does he want us to do? No conventional methods? What does that mean? I guess we just have to take his advice and hope it makes sense when the time comes. I guess. We're almost at the finish line. Hang in there, Trucy. Hang in there, Trucy doll.
Court is now back in session. Prosecutor Gavin, where's Detective Crescent?
In the witness rounds, ready to be called at any time.
Very well.
Might I add, I don't believe any of this. Darian was the first detective I ever worked with. We stopped working together when he moved to Criminal Affairs Division 3. But his guitar playing... It fires my imagination, baby. That's nice, but it has nothing to do with the matter at hand. Correct? Oh, I know. Hair forehead.
Very well. Call the final witness to the stand. Detective Darian Crescent.
What is disturbing my slumber? At this time of night, no doubt. No less. Taco Bell really wants me to go. Name and occupation, please. Darian Crescent, Detective, Criminal Affairs, Division 3. You can tell that Darian is a consummate professional. He doesn't just crash out immediately saying, "Why am I here? This is ridiculous." He knows how to play by the rules. And he's gonna be a tough nut to crack. That's the International Fair Division, those of you who didn't know. I'm a guitarist for the Gaviners. Maybe you've heard of us.
You fully understand the circumstances under which you stand before us today?
Yeah, I understand, Your Honor. What I don't understand is how you let this happen, partner. You gave me your word I wouldn't be standing here. The situation's changed, Darian. And, don't call me partner. That. The owl? So much for old friends. I see what you're doing, Darian. You're pressing the prosecution. Your Honor, if we could begin the trial?
Yes, it's high time we did. Let's hear your testimony. You may begin with your response to La Miroir's testimony. If, in fact, you have anything to say about it.
Oh, I got plenty to say. Lying must be a national pastime aboard Gideon. And wherever you're from, Mr. Justice. Ha! Conventional methods are out the window, huh? Here goes nothing. Oh, we're going straight into Allegro. Nice. The diva's lying, plain and simple. She's got nothing to back up her story. In the first place, she never heard my voice. She forgot the words because she heard gunshots? As if. Didn't Detective Emma Sky hear those gunshots during the third set anyway? The shooting took place when I was on stage, man.
So you claim La Miroir's testimony was a lie?
Hey, don't get me wrong. I dig what she's doing, trying to protect that kid. She's got the court-eating vague statements out of her hand just because she's blind. Damn, man! You go too far, Darian. Look, all I'm saying is, you've got a reliable witness. Why not listen to the detective?
Detective Sky? I see. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination.
He didn't waste any time finding our weak spot. I can't do this with La Miroir's testimony alone. I'll have to find some other way to prove when the shooting took place. We know she missed the words. The mixing board proved it. Oh, yeah, it was a mistake, but blaming it on gunshots is just a lame excuse. Explain. The mixing board proves what? It proves there was a mistake in the song. A miscue. So, she just flubbed it up big time, that's all. She spins the story about a gunshot to protect the kid and cover for her own goof. Man, yeah, I'd have to hand it to her if she wasn't sticking it to me at the same time. Darian, watch what you say. La Miroir is an artist. She just flubbed it up. That's no small accusation for a performer of her caliber. She's got to you, alright. I can see it in your eyes. I tell you, most of her stuff is so pretentious it's way over my head. I'm detecting a rift in the governor's ranks. Anyway, she's too close to the defendant. Her testimony can't be trusted. You ask me, I go with Detective Sky's story at the drop of a pick. Didn't Detective Emma Sky hear those guns? Okay, so... I don't think that I can... Well, I'll press more things. That could have been what the shooter wanted us to think. I'll tell you what the shooter, that kid wants you to think. He wants you to think the diva heard me in that room. I'm back to relying on La Miroir's testimony. As much as I'm enjoying the Darian and Forehead show, there's no need for such tempers. Don't make us into some comedy duo. This mean the Gavin and Darian show's cancelled. Neither of your claims can be proven, or disproved. We could argue for days like this and get nowhere.
Prosecutor Gavin is quite right. This court will hold no further discussion on this topic without new facts.
New facts, huh? He's pretty eager to paint La Miroir as a liar, isn't he? Yeah, because her testimony is basically our entire case. This is tough, so what do we do? I've got a few ideas. Just need to find another way to prove it didn't happen when he says it did. There's a problem with how they found the body. I see. Got nothing to back up her story. You don't have any proof she was lying. Oh yeah, kid? You saying I lied? No, I'm just saying... Apollo glared back at him. I couldn't help it, I flinched by reflex. Detective Crescent. Yeah? What do you want? Nothing. Apollo, chin up, back straight, you're wilting. This guy's hard as nails. He makes Walkie look downright cooperative. Look, there's no way the diva remembers my voice. You only heard one shot, but there were 2 shots fired. You never talked to her, even though you were playing in the same concert? Not a word, as far as I recall. But weren't there planning sessions or something? Gavin took care of all that himself. Darian wasn't involved in any of the meetings with her. As if you can just go around remembering everyone's voice like that anyway. Only an idiot would believe that. The Hammer's hearing is very sensitive. She could remember if she heard him, and I'm sure of it. He just can't prove it. And I need proof! Did I already press this one? Actually, I was there too. So I hear. Which means you heard them too, right? The gunshots. Yes, we heard gunshots. Neither I nor Emma actually saw the shooting, mind you. I guess you and Lammerwald got the same excuse then. We know one thing for certain here. There were gunshot-like sounds that emanated from the room during the 3rd set. We must determine is whether those sounds were actually gunshots. Machi heard them too. Remember he said he ran for the air ducts when he heard them? So, how do we figure out what those gunshots during the 3rd set were? So, I'm guessing I have to present during this. I mean, the gunshot could be the igniter, couldn't it? Some things were found at the crime scene after yesterday's trial. What things? The first was this small device. That's a remote-triggered igniter. Correct. And one more thing. What are those? The remains of something burnt? Not another guitar, I hope. Traces of gunpowder were found on these fragments. We have a report that it was something like a firecracker. Eh? How did Gavin know about this? What? You think Detective Sky works for you? I received the report this morning before coming here. Oh, it works on both of them? Huh. That makes sense. That both of those were involved. Huh. Wonder if the switch also works, right? Probably not. That's when I made my decision, actually.
What decision is this, Prosecutor Gavin?
The switch wasn't found at the crime scene. That makes sense. I registered Darian as a witness in today's trial, just in case. This raises another possibility. Those gunshot-like sounds during the 3rd set could have been 2 firecrackers ready to go off by remote control. Nope. There goes my revolver theory. My 4 shots revolver theory. You got an active imagination, don't you? You shouldn't say every little thing you think. Your explanation there seems a bit too convenient to me. How so? So you're saying these firecrackers happen to go off right when 2 witnesses came walking by? That's right. Darian was out on stage when it happened, Apollo. How do you know someone was backstage right then? If a firecracker goes off in the forest and there's no one there to hear, you get my drift. Why go through the trouble, man? How do I explain this? You may not look it, but Darian is a gifted detective. Show any weakness and he's sure to find it, babe. He may not look it, partner. Gee, thanks, man. That reminds me. I happened to pass through that very hallway several times that day myself. And I saw something odd there just before the 3rd set. Something odd? A headset. The kind all the band and staff members were wearing. That's right. We picked this up in front of the door to that dressing room. What if that headset wasn't dropped, but placed? And what if it was turned on? You could hear what was going on in that hallway, even if you were out on stage. Whose side are you on, Gavin? Listen to me, Darian. There are no sides in a court of law. Which is why I now turn to you, Air Forehead. I got a question for you. Huh? For me? The igniter and the burnt fragments that were found at the scene of the crime. Certainly a possibility that they were part of the ruse to fake the sound of gunshots. Throw the headset from the hallway into the mix and you could fabricate an alibi. But we're still no closer to proving anything. Those gunshots might have been real or fake. We can't say. Yeah. You've raised the possibility that the shots heard during the 3rd set were faked. Now you need to prove the other half of the case. The other half? Look, I'll just tell him. He wants you to prove the thing went down in the 2nd act, while our little piano player was on stage. That right, Gavin? Indeed. If you can't prove that, then to continue this cross-examination would be pointless. Well, Mr. Justice. Can you prove the crime took place during the 2nd set? Yeah, I think. You better know, Apollo. Otherwise, we're through. It can be proven. You make it sound like someone else is going to come along and do it for you. Let's continue the cross-examination then, shall we? Witness, your testimony if you would. This isn't going to be easy. I need some decisive proof and fast. You ready, kid? 'Cause I am. The shooting took place during the 2nd set. If you're so sure, let's see your proof. I don't think that pressing is gonna do anything for me. But the gunshots during the 2nd set could have been... What? Some kind of setup? I've heard that one before. We need proof, Apollo. We need to prove that the shooting took place during the 2nd set. Well, if you know how to do that, I'm all ears. Maybe the gunshots are the key after all. What do you mean? Well, Lamerwa said she heard them, right? Right in the middle of her illusion when she was up above the ceiling. When she forgot the words to the song, yeah? You can prove the gun was shot right when she missed those lyrics? Roam free, I think. True. Not easy, but true. Is there some way to prove that? Let's take a look through our evidence. Maybe there's something in there. Hey, aren't you supposed to be cross-examining me? Try to refrain from private discussions during the cross-examination, Mr. Justice. Right, Your Honor. Sorry. So let me take a look, quick look through the court records. Come on! Give me some time to figure things out. So, the mixing board. It seems there was clear proof left behind. Apollo, why are you eating pretzels during a trial? Right here in Lamirwa's song. Her song? What exactly is this, device thingy? A new variety of gramophone, perhaps? Oh, Mom, we just use this. And don't get me started on gramophone. These days, people would start mocking people for using VHSs and anything. This device was used to record the performance part by part. Part? You move the sliders to adjust the volume. Each instrument is adjustable separately, Lamirwa's voice included. Oh, but what does this prove? Yeah, Apollo took the snack ooze from Phoenix, and he's eating them. According to Lamirwa's testimony, at the moment of the shooting, she forgot the words to the song. You intend to examine the recording at that moment, yeah? You might even hear those gunshots. Exactly. Ridiculous. Uh-oh. He's sweating bullets now. How are you supposed to hear gunshots back in that dressing room out on stage? Have you forgotten, Darian? We were all wearing these headsets. Oh. We were all deeply involved in our performance. But Lamirwa's headset would have picked up what she heard all the same.
Now let's get to analyzing that recording. Right now.
Lamirwa stopped singing when she heard shots fired. When I see the health bar, that's a nice safety save. Find that spot and I'll hear the gunshots.
There it is!
Yep. Yeah, it happens during the second part. Your Honor, listen to this part.
What's this?
I hear nothing. How is this possible? Wait, isn't the judge hard of hearing?
I can hear just fine, thank you very much.
You heard me thinking. Oh, wait, did I not hear? Did I not highlight it properly? I don't think I actually clicked on it. So it's in the second part. Wait, how do I select? Present play. Oh, wait. Yeah, I select this here. Okay. So it's... Yep, okay. Now I got it. This is the track of Lamirwa's vocals. Yeah, I forgot how the selection works. Mm-hmm.
I did hear something faintly there, yes? Why, it sounded like a gunshot.
What? This had to be some kind of mistake. My hair's flopping. I believe a case has been made. Gunshots were heard during the second set, which means Lamirwa's testimony was true.
Grah! Order! So, she was telling the truth about what she heard?
It was the other man speaking, not Mr. Letus.
Well, what did he say?
It's over, press the switch now. Just after that, there was a gunshot, and then the guitar caught on fire. Detective Crescent, you weren't on stage during the second set. Ha! You could have done it!
Why did we only hear one gunshot on the recording? Were 2 bullets fired from this weapon?
Lamirwa was moving through the air vent, Your Honor. She must not have been close enough for a mic to catch the first shot. But then as she passed over the dressing room, the gun fired again, and Mr. Letus's life was taken. Well, Detective Crescent? Once again I'm reminded of something. Our performance that day.
Your performance?
Seeing the mixing board jogged my memory. You were there too, Air Forehead. Oh! When Darian missed his cue. Oh, wow. Darian was a whole lot more scared about me Apollo finding that missed cue than you ever would have suspected on your first time playing. Because we stumbled upon something that was a whole lot more important than we could have imagined. I thought it strange at the time. How could you miss such a simple cue? I know you. I know how you play. You're better than that. Yeah, well,
You what? And Prosecutor Gavin, what are you getting at?
I'm talking about the murder weapon, Mr. Letus's .45 hand cannon. As we've learned, even the shooter doesn't go unscarred with a revolver that size. A kickback is enough to dislocate your shoulder if you're an amateur. Wait. You mean his playing was affected because he hurt himself shooting that revolver? You're forgetting something!
Yes, Detective Crescent.
I'm a trained police officer, you know. I've had firearms training, plenty of it. I know amateur. The standard firearms issued to police officers is a .38 caliber weapon, a much tamer beast. Also, the murder weapon belonged to the victim, Mr. Letus, which suggests there was a struggle between the killer and victim.
So, the killer might not have been holding the revolver correctly when he fired. Is that what you mean?
The thought had occurred to me, yes.
Well, does the witness have anything to say to this? Detective Crescent!
What I want to ask is what Mr. Sleeves Rolled Up Ready for Action has to say. Hey, you, attorney.
Me?
Exactly which piece of your evidence is decisive again? A little noise on a tape that could be anything. You have an alleged guitar cue missed due to a .45 caliber kickback. And I wait for this case, Gavin. I really do. You can line up your little weak pieces of evidence all you want. I didn't shoot that manager. That's the obvious truth.
The witness has a point. The defense's arguments, while persuasive, are not decisive. I believe we should hear what the witness has to say in response to the case so far. Your testimony, please, Detective Crescent. Tell us your reasons why you couldn't have done it.
Didn't think that eating straight right before streaming would would be so important, but here we are. Time to see if my parking is good. What do you think? Come on! Why would you even want to kill that manager? You want a reason? Easy. I got no motive, man. This was that diva's first trip to the country, right? How could I possibly know her manager? If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him? A simple reason indeed. Prosecutor Gavin, is it the case that Mr. Lettuce had not been to our country before? According to our records, yes. Not even once. I see. Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination. Great. Now I need to find a motive. Let's press all the things. Our manager, sure, but Mr. Lettuce was... Oh, right, sorry. An Interpol agent, wasn't he? I just have trouble picturing that big lunk as an undercover cop, you dig? Not a very good one, seeing as how he got wasted. You're laughing at the death of a man, Darian. That's cold, dog. Mr. Lettuce died. Let's go! You got no motive, do you? But that's the same for Machi. No motive was proven for him. Come on, he traveled around the world with that old fart. He had plenty of time to come up with a motive of his own. Ugh. More than I sure did. I mean, think about it. That diva's first trip to this country, right? Darian, you're a detective with international affairs? Yeah? What of it? Even if this was Mr. Lettuce's first trip to this country, you still could have met him prior to the concert. Huh? Or don't you take any international trips in international affairs? That's right! Well, Detective Crescent. That's your game, is it? Well, oh, that's your game, is it? Guess I'd better confess then. Confess? Yeah, it's a bit of an embarrassment. But I've never been sent overseas. What? But you're international... See, me and Plain's got a difference of opinion. We don't like each other that much. My condolences there, Forehead, but he's telling the truth. He's never set foot outside the country. He's never set foot outside Japan. Oh, so he's been to Japan? I mean America. Oh. I can guarantee it. And it turns out, my division has plenty of work to do locally as well. That's so unfair. So you didn't fraternize with them at all during the concert? Fraternize? I don't think we exchanged a single word. If anyone will want to talk to that old Eastern blockhead. Now the ladies, that's a different matter altogether. So you see... You sure about that? What? What? Wipe that look off your face before I do it for you. Listen, try throwing out one of your wild accusations. I'll throw it right back at you so hard, you'll forget what you're accusing of what. There, Forehead. Perhaps it's best if you let your evidence do the talking, John. Ha! Man, what evidence? That's what I want to know. He's using this motive. The question is ammunition, huh? Well, I've got ammunition too. Evidence. Alright, so why would he want him to kill that manager? You got... I mean, time to see if my park... Yeah. You say, yeah, you already told me. So, obviously it has to do with the cocoon smuggling, but it might be a little bit too soon to go straight for the cocoon. How could I possibly know our manager? Oh, I think I know. I think I know. How could you possibly know her manager? Well, here's the thing. The manager, he wrote his ID, and the shooter tried to wipe the ID off. If the shooter, oh, let's see. Nope, the evidence kept on going. But you saw where my logic was going, right? Now to see where parking is good. Nope, you can't solve this traditionally. I still don't even know what that means. That you can't solve this case traditionally. I would even want to kill that manager. So he asked the same question twice. If you didn't know him, oh. If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him? Maybe I present the crime scene photo here.
Objection!
Nah, if it didn't work the first time, then that wouldn't work there. That's on me. You can't solve it by using evidence to point out contradictions. So then I just have to. So then I do have to bring up the reason. You got no motive, man. Okay. Perhaps this was your motive. Oh shoot. Okay. Your Honor, take a look at this.
What's that?
It looks like candy. It's not. Don't lick it, please. It's at the Crescent. Ever seen this? Looks like a piece of candy. What it is evidence. Don't lick it before you try it. Specifically, this is a replica of a cocoon. It was found amongst the victim's belongings.
A cocoon? Never seen one that color.
It's a variety only found in the Republic of Borginia. Nowhere else.
Alright, but what is this cocoon replica doing in my courtroom? Surely this has nothing to do with the motive for killing Mr. Letus. Does it?
It does. Wait, I think it does. You don't sound so confident, man.
A cocoon? Is it one of those silky cocoons? The kind that you can make, well, silk out of?
Not this one. This cocoon makes a powerful curative.
A curative? For what?
Apparently, it's most efficacious at treating a disease thought incurable. It's the only medicine of its kind. However, it is illegal to take one of these healing cocoons out of Borginia.
Whatever for? If it's such a miracle cure, why not share it with the world?
Yeah, that's what I've been wondering. We looked into the matter at some length. Apparently, it isn't difficult at all to manufacture the remedy from the cocoon. Yet if you change the process only slightly, you can easily make a large quantity of something else entirely. A deadly poison, in fact.
What?
Huh. So you didn't want to cure anything. He wanted to make poison. It was an incident several years ago where some of these got out into the black market, caused quite the commotion in the global community, though the media was kept largely unaware.
Intriguing.
All this led to a strict ban on the cocoon's export. There's your answer. One originally enforced by Interpol, among others.
Interpol?
Right. The victim, Romain Letus, was an Interpol agent. Detective Crescent, you insist on referring to him as a manager, but that is misleading. Romain Letus wasn't killed as a manager. He was killed as an undercover agent. So I was trying to smuggle this gumball into the country? That what you're trying to say? I am saying that could well be a motive for murder. Oh, so I was gonna sell on the black market, make myself a pretty penny? Ridiculous! I mean, totally unthinkable. Unthinkable, you say? Why?
Perhaps it's time for another testimony about this smuggling of cocoons business.
International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons. International's all hot and bothered about them. Can't sell them on the black market, too dangerous. Yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore. Man, I'm in International Affairs. I know the deal.
Indeed. Interpol wanted these cocoons bad enough to send Mr. Lettuce undercover.
You kids think up the craziest things, but no way am I gonna risk life and limb just to get my hands on some dirty cocoon money.
Not the most noble of statements, but duly noted.
According to reports, these cocoons top Interpol's list. Selling them to an underground organization would be risky.
Very well, you may begin the cross-examination.
This is the only motive I got. He was up to something, and I'm gonna find out what. So, we've developed motive, right? Or are we still, or are we trying, are we trying to keep on building the motive? Dangerous? Yeah, Interpol finds you, they arrest you on the spot. Or another marketeer might think you're part of a sting and take you out himself. Times have changed. You have a reason why now you need to give motive to why he's committing the crime. Which is why you'd know how to find a loophole in the system. Then, you can say what you want about me, but back off International Affairs. There ain't no loopholes, okay? What do you think we are, Boy Scouts? Wasn't what I was trying to, Down, Darian. It's as you say. There are no loopholes, at least in the case of these cocoons. International Affairs, Interpol, and Borginian Customs are all watching. See, we know what we're doing. Not like some yipping little doggies that lap up every word that diva says. Why, yada! Not a what? You want some of this? Chill, both of you. Let's do this cool, yeah? Screw cool. I want this guy's head on a stick. Damn, Apollo. The replica has to be the key to his motive. There's gotta be a way to find out what he was up to. That memo? That's how you knew about the cocoons? Oh, nice one, nice one. I'm running scared now. You had to know about the cocoons to plan this.
Just how well known are these cocoons? I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I never heard of them.
Well, Lamiron knew about them, though not their use. My reports indicate that there are ongoing efforts to control information about the cocoons. Most people only know they're illegal to export, that's all.
Then I've nothing to be embarrassed about after all.
You know, you could say people like me who know about them are a minority, yeah? That includes everyone in International Affairs, man! Everyone in Interpol, too, for that matter. Yeah. Now, why are you so all hot and bothered? So there are other Interpol agents like Mr. Lettuce? All over the world, likely. Deep undercover, most of them. That's why these cocoons are too hot for the black market. You don't want Interpol sniffing through your wares. Most came to the conclusion that... But why isn't it lucrative anymore? But wouldn't scarcity drive up prices? Yeah, and attention. Every gangster and his brother would want a piece of that action. They'd turn your forehead into Swiss cheese before you could say, Objection! Maybe we could get them to cut his hair, too. Who's on trial again? Man, you so obviously know nothing about the market. And that's a bad thing? Don't even try to mess with me about this stuff. Freaking fly getting in my way. Alright, so I'm trying to establish motive here. Interpol's all hot and bothered about them. Can't sell them in the black market. Ain't lucrative anymore. You're in international affairs, you know the deal. Now, which one of these is the weakest statement? Not a memo, they're all hot and bothered about them. Can't sell them in the black market, too dangerous. It ain't exactly lucrative anymore. And you know the deal. Alright, this is chuffing me a little bit. Let's see if there's anything going on here. Oh, wait. Well, does this have to do with the Chief Justice's son? Motive isn't money. Yep. So my here's the article about the Chief Justice's son. Why not choose a less dangerous buyer then? I would. My parking is horrible? How's my parking horrible? Well, I guess I'll figure it out. How clueless are you? Everyone in the market's dangerous. The second they found out I was a cop, I could kiss my keister goodbye. Why sell to a black market buyer? How about someone like this? That article? That's about the Chief Justice's... A deadly poison can be extracted from the cocoon, but so can a cure. Not a cure for just any disease. A cure for incuritis. Incuritis? I've heard of that somewhere. You went to visit a victim of the disease this morning. Aha! Why, that's the disease the Chief Justice's son has! You aren't saying... Our witness is a detective. He would have contacted the Chief Justice. You are saying... The Chief Justice would never deal in contraband! Not even to save his own son's life? But even if the deal went through, why, it'd be an international scandal! That's Detective Crescence's insurance. Word ever got out, the one with his neck on the line would be the Chief Justice. Detective Crescent, is this true? First I'm a murderer, now I'm a smuggler. How many crimes are you trying to pin on me anyway? Distasteful as it is to think about, if the Chief Justice were the buyer, why, a seller couldn't hope for a better deal. Is it asked? Yeah? I mean, I had the son having curitis on the table. It's not like that completely fell off of my head, but that's all beyond everything. A very cowardly seller. Don't let sleeves over there trick you. So I made a deal with the Chief Justice. Where's your proof? Well... Oh yeah, forgetting one other important thing. Do tell. Interpol isn't the only one out there watching this. Virginian Customs barely sleeps, they're so worried about Cocoon's getting out.
So we were informed. Let's continue with the cross-examination.
Virginian Customs is very thorough, everything and everyone gets checked. Just how strict is this customs check? Way strict. They keep planes on the ground for hours. I do recall it being a bit extreme. They're even confiscating gumdrops and marshmallows.
Yes, it would be hard to distinguish them.
That's right. Gavin was in Virginia, wasn't he? I remember setting off the metal detectors several times. I had to practically strip naked to walk through. Objection! I'm gonna require evidence of this. Here's a travel chip for you, Gavin. Leave the bling at home, you glimmerous fop. Oh, wow. He changed a lot of his testimony. I thought it was just one line. That's pretty extreme. Virginia has this rep as an idyllic, laid-back place. Truth is, they're beyond hardcore security. Republic of Virginia is a peaceful, pleasant country, so this level of security shows us how truly concerned they are about these cocoons. That's the situation. If there's a way to get cocoons out of there, I'd sure like to know. You're in a position to know quite a bit about smuggling. Yeah, I need to know a bit for work, sure, but all we get are reports on the failed smuggling ops. Not exactly something you want to go copying. If you want, I can tell you a few of them. Maybe you'll succeed and get rich.
I would be interested in hearing, purely from a legal perspective, of course.
I wait for our judicial system. This might be the one I need to press. Yeah, this has to be the one that gets presented. I just need to figure out what I present it with. What is the? If there's a way to smuggle it out. Now, which one of these talks about a way to smuggle? A publicity card. Link back to a conversation you had with Gavin and why something else happened. Gavin, yeah, he was given some mysterious object. Like, I remember that. I remember when Gavin was on the phone, and someone sent him something, but I don't remember what it was. Like, why did you give me all of this weird stuff? Wrong track. Okay. If there's any other way to get cocoons out, I'd like to know how. Two things happened at the concert. It was the murder, and it was the case being lit on fire. Unless there was another thing. I mean, we were talking about Gavin's horrible, terrible, no good, very bad day, right? The murder and the mishap with the guitar, yeah. Does it have to do anything with the guitar case? No, probably not. What does it say again? It's in Borginian. The thing happened because of the switch was hit. Anything in here? Lightly scorched, then there's this. Burn clean through. Pretty much a useless piece of junk. Kind of like you after a trial, Apollo. Damn. We're Yeah, the guitar was a gift from, the guitar was a gift from La Miroir. So, was the guitar used as the method of smuggling the cocoon, for smuggling a cocoon through? And then it was burned afterward to get rid of the evidence? Well, might as well flail a little bit.
Objection!
Right. Actually, there is one way. What? One way to get something out of the country, no checks.
What is it?
You become a prosecutor.
A prosecutor?
I don't believe it. That's the one thing that's kind of scary about Clavier, is that everyone needs something explained to them, but Apollo, all he needs to do is just point at the evidence, and Clavier just goes straight to the end of what Apollo is trying to reveal. Everyone else is just like, can you explain to me what you're going after? But Clavier, he's already there, like the very nanosecond after Apollo points out the evidence. And that's what makes him so intriguing. Believe it, Prosecutor Gavin. Believe it! Ninja info cards. Exactly. I'm gonna pretend what he's talking about. Believe it! What was it that you told me yesterday at your office? It is a beautiful instrument. It has played lovingly for many years. Guitar befitting a woman like La Miroir. How did it end up here? I mentioned how much I enjoyed playing it that night, and she made a present of it. So this guitar is from Virginia? That it is. We couldn't carry it in the plane. Changes in air pressure and humidity ruined the wood. So we vacuum packed it in La Miroir's studio. I used a special shipping service available to me for transporting evidence. They brought it right up to my office for me. Pristine and untouched. Did I get that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Untouched? Quite. And now that Clavier knows where this line of reasoning is going, he's back to his cool self. So he was caught off guard by the reveal, and now he's like, he knows exactly where this is going. So now he's just along for the ride, and he's gonna prompt things. I just realized I've got my own Clavier in the chat. The guitar was wrapped in several sheets and vacuum packed in Virginia. The pack was untouched until the day of the concert. Are you saying that guitar was, with cocoons this small, it would have been easy to use your guitar as a mule to smuggle a cocoon out of Virginia?
What?
Which reminds me, Prosecutor Gavin, the guitar had some work done on it recently, right?
Work?
Huh, good memory there, forehead. Well, you know, guitars have a round hole in the front. It's called the sound hole. Well, they found something attached to the wood just inside the hole. A broken device of some sort. A broken device? Yep, talking about the igniter.
An igniter!
Exactly. Consider this, if you will. What if that igniter wasn't the only thing that was attached inside your guitar? You mean... It means this, of course.
Oh!
There was a way to get a cocoon out of the country. They could use picky Prosecutor Gavin's privileged guitar as a mule.
Ah!
And who better to do it than someone with access, like a member of the band? York! I thought he was about to say yo for a second there.
Order! So the igniter
Was placed in there for a clear reason, it seems. It was a safety precaution.
Precaution?
Their forehead. At last it all comes together. Every strange thing that happened that day. Care to review? Maestro, the gentle sounds of La Miroir's ballad, if you will. First, my keys were stolen, a harmless misdemeanor, which forced me to break the lock on my guitar case. The key was stolen to retrieve the cocoon from the guitar.
I see.
But things didn't go so well. The smuggler wasn't counting on the guitar being wrapped. Only a member of the band could get near that case. Unwrapping the guitar would raise too many suspicions. Then the concert began. Right about this time, a very large problem presented itself to the smuggler.
What's that?
Mr. Latouche.
Ah!
Mr. Latouche, an undercover agent, was onto something. He would have known about the guitar. He'd only have to check the shipping records. So, Mr. Latouche tried to examine the guitar himself. If the cocoon were confiscated then, the gig would be up. The only thing left for the smuggler to do was to get rid of the whole lot. It's over. Press the switch. Now! The guitar burst into flames, and the cocoon was lost. And then Mr. Latouche died, with La Miroir there to witness it. There's your case. Brilliant, man!
Detective Crescent?
I gotta know. You make all that up on the fly? For a made-up story, it makes a great deal of sense, Darian. Darian predicted Fire Emblem Heroes way before it came out. The Republic of Virginia? Sorry, man, but I haven't even been there. True, you haven't. Huh! Let's see you make up a story for that, kid. How'd I hide the cocoon in the first place, huh? It's not so hard to imagine. You had help. A Virginian accomplice. That's all. That you had an accomplice was clear from the start. The voice La Miroir heard proves it. You made this transmission from backstage, while your co-conspirator was on stage.
But who was it?
This is it, the coup de grace. And for once, I know what I'm doing. There's only one person who could have helped him. If it's not Machi, I am going to be so embarrassed.
Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say, then. I'll be warned, with great accusation comes great responsibility.
You got that from Man-Spider, didn't you?
Make up your answer on the fly, as it were, and you'll be harshly penalized. Are you ready, Mr. Justice? Who was a smuggler's accomplice?
There's only one person who meets all the requirements, the accomplice. And that person is the defendant, Machi Tobae.
But, Mr. Justice, he's your client!
A defense attorney accusing his client? Ha! That's a new one! I assure you, no one is more unhappy about this than I. But I am here to defend him in the murder of Mr. Letus. And I stand by my statement earlier that he is innocent of that particular crime.
Indeed, the defendant is Borginian, and he does meet the basic requirements to be an accomplice. But what if it was, in fact, La Miroir?
It couldn't have been.
Well, you seem sure of yourself.
The reason is electronic signals, Your Honor.
Electronic signals?
Recall that this remote only works to a range of 30 feet. Beyond that, it's useless.
Yes, that's true.
Now, think back to the testimony. When the shooter made his transmission, La Miroir was in the air vent, right above the dressing room where the shooter stood. Let's look at the stage diagram. This is the area that the remote could reach from the vent.
Well, looking at this, it seems that La Miroir still could have done the deed.
No. When the shooter made that transmission, the stage was slightly different than was shown here. It was in the middle of the guitar serenade. The part of the stage was raised. Prosecutor Gavin and the La Miroir stand-in were in the air. They were on a tower which happens to be 15 feet tall. In other words, the remote couldn't have worked from La Miroir's position in the air vent.
Ugh.
Well, Detective Crescend, what do you have to say to that?
Your Honor. Yes, Detective?
Can we see the video where Gavin's guitar burns just one more time?
Well, I don't see why not.
What? Don't tell me he has a way out of this. Well, is he going to point out the fact that the fire went off? Too bad, so sad, punk. Punk? First you were sleeves, then kid, now punk? You're losing rank fast, Apollo. Hey, just like me trying to play TCG Pocket.
What exactly were we supposed to see in this video?
The problem isn't in what we see, correct, Darian? Right. It's what you hear. We are musicians, after all. Care to explain for us non-musicians? Sure thing, punk. Let me get your yarn straight first. You're saying I ordered the wee pianist to set off that guitar? That right? Yes. Well, in order to do that, you'd have to press a switch. Am I right? Okay. Well, take another listen. Pay attention to the piano. Piano? Is it the fact that there's nothing wrong with it? Or... I can't hear it.
What seems to be the problem there? The piano sounded just fine.
And that's the problem. Man, you still don't get it.
Yeah.
I was supposed to heat the switch if he's playing. You got Miss Diva, the guitar, the bass, the piano, and the drums. The only one with her hands free was the Diva. I mean, what? But according to you, she couldn't have been the accomplice, could she? Ugh. Your accomplice would have had a hard time helping out if they couldn't even press a switch. Oh! He pressed it with his feet or some such, didn't he? Because that switch was found under the piano. Or, no, it was in the piano. What if one of the keys was set to, what if one of the piano keys was set to flip the switch? He couldn't have pressed that switch.
Well, Mr. Justice, the piano does seem to be playing when the guitar catches fire.
Well, it's okay. We all make mistakes sometimes. Apollo, were you wrong? I can't be wrong. That was Red White's nickname for Phoenix. Everything makes perfect sense. How could it all just... strange? What's strange? No, it's just... something's odd about the performance there. Odd?
Mr. Justice, if Machito Bai didn't press that switch, then he could not be the accomplice you claim he is.
But everything points to it. Every fact says he's the accomplice. You got the facts wrong, man. Here's some facts for you. Gavin's guitar is on fire, but the pianist didn't press the switch. In other words, your story is full of holes.
Mr. Justice, let's hear your final opinion on this matter now. Was the defendant, Machito Bai, the accomplice? Your answer will reflect on everything you've said here. Give it some thought.
Apollo, if Machi's not the accomplice, then our whole case is ruined. I know that. It has to be him. He was the only one who could have helped the smuggler. He had to have pressed that switch. Well, you better find a way to prove it. What do I do? What do I do? Has to be something that doesn't fit. Something odd. Something odd? Wait a second. Oh, what? You thought of something? What was Gavin saying just now? Strange. What's strange? No, it just... something's odd about the performance there. It's not much to go on, but it's all they've got. What exactly did he hear that was odd?
Have you come up with something, Mr. Justice?
Safety save.
May I remind you that everything rests on this. Can you prove Machito Bai pressed the switch? Let's hear your final answer. Can you prove that Machito Bai pressed the switch?
I don't know if you can call this proof per se, but I can prove it was possible. Then, as prosecutor, it falls me to ask you to show us evidence supporting this. Air forehead. You sure about this? Accept it. There's no evidence, man.
Let's see your evidence, Mr. Justice. On what do you base your claim that the defendant pressed the switch?
So let me see. Found on the stage. Okay, so it was found on the stage. I think that he played a note on the piano that sets it off. The basis for my claim is music, Your Honor.
Music? What about music?
Let's listen to the piano part, around the time when the switch was to be pressed, right before the guitar bursts into flame.
I hear a piano being played.
But doesn't it sound kind of simple?
Simple?
Ah, I think I know what he's suggesting. You think Machi could have played that part with one hand?
One hand?
He only needed one hand to press that switch. He could play the piano with the other. What, so you're some kind of piano savant? Actually, no. Now what do you know? You can't play a part like that with one hand. Maybe. I don't know what I'm talking about here. Wait, I know. Hey, Trucy. Yeah? You got something? Mr. Wright, your father, he's a pianist. Could he... Oh, Daddy? He couldn't play a part like that even if he had 3 hands. So sorry. So sad for you. No, not really.
Huh?
That was just the easy way to prove it. There's always the hard way. Man, how are you gonna prove whether he played it with one hand or 2? You can't. I admit, it will be rather difficult to prove, but it's highly likely he was playing with one hand. How do you know that? So, I got the right answer, but for the wrong reasons. I thought that that maybe the song didn't incorporate one of the keys, and he pressed the key, which pressed the switch, but I looked into it. The clue is what Prosecutor Gavin described as sounding odd. What sounded odd? I'll bet we can tell by listening to a certain part of the song. No way.
Well, it seems we come to the moment of truth at last. Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say for himself. Show us the part that proves the defendant was playing with one hand, right before the guitar burst into flame.
Machi was definitely playing one-handed before the guitar caught fire, and one section of the song proves it. Which one? Let's see, which one is the piano? I think it's the second section. I heard some kind of skip there. I mean, the second section is also when the gunshot rang out. So, I'm gonna give that a try. Dang it. Oh, no, wait. No. I've got it all wrong. The second part was when the bullet was when the shot rang out. But it would have to happen before that. It would have to happen before that because Darian said pull the trigger, and then you have to say press the switch. And then the gunshot rang out after that. So it's this part and it's the first section. Yeah. I conflated things a little bit too much. The gunshot rang out right at the start of the second section. So, like I said, Darian would have to say, pull the switch is pulled, and then the gunshot rang out. Prosecutor Gavin, I'm sure you've realized by now just what it was that sounded odd to you. You're finding the bit that he played with two hands? To compare the second session where he played simpler. Did I just reach the right conclusion with the wrong method again? As I'm sure you've realized it yourself there, Forehead.
Realized what?
I'll demonstrate. Let's listen to that part in question again, shall we? Pay particular attention to the "but a fleeting melody" phrase. Yes, I did. Nice. Man. How many times do I have to listen to the same thing? You're right. Enough of that. Let's listen to another section, shall we?
Another section?
The guitar bursts into flame at the end of the second verse. Let's listen to the same spot in the first verse. Pay attention to "Oh, that night in your embrace." I logic to the time when you'd have to have both hands on the keys. If it works, you know.
Play verse 2 again.
I'll be honest. If I were to base that entirely off of just listening to the music, I wouldn't be able to do that.
They feel the same, true, but they're clearly very different.
What? Well put, Your Honor. The phrase in verse 2 is quite simple, but the same phrase in verse 1 has high and low notes. You'd have to use two hands to play that for sure.
Ugh. Yeah, what's that prove?
I would think you'd know that by now.
This is why I hate dealing with amateurs, man.
So the two verses had different arrangements. It happens all the time. Not this time, Darian. There's no point in changing the arrangement if you can't hear it clearly, and that wasn't the point. I had him play specifically so that the piano would stay in the background. Yeah, you're calling the aux chord trash when the mix master is right there. That was what I noticed. Why should the same phrase sound slightly different? I asked myself. Now you asked yourselves why Machi changed, how he played. There's only one answer. He needed a free hand in order to press the switch.
No! Order! I believe this ties all the facts together. Well, Prosecutor Gavin?
Yes, quite. Though, personally, this comes off as a terrible disappointment. What? No comeback? I can't believe it. I finally did it. I shut him up.
Very well. Barring an objection from the prosecution, I will now state the court's opinion on this matter.
Good show, slaves. No, great show. It's not over. I don't like it when you look so happy. You tell him, Gavin. Tell him what's so disappointing. Personally, I'm terribly disappointed in you, Air Forehead. Huh? Me? Yeah, don't get me wrong. Your case is solid. The facts all check out, but even now, you have yet to show us a single piece of decisive evidence. Yeah, but the facts, anyone can see it was him.
Unfortunately, anyone does not include law. I'm afraid your case doesn't cut it.
But...
1,000 facts might point toward the same conclusion, but without decisive evidence, it's not proof. That's the rule under our current legal system.
You can see Phoenix somewhere watching this case going... Phoenix is punching the air right now. I don't believe it. Well, at first he said believe it, now he doesn't believe it.
It does not seem as though the defense has any more evidence to present.
Oh, I think if he did, he already would have seen it a long ways back.
It is unfortunate, but at present, this court is unable to acknowledge your accusation.
What? The truth is staring us all right in the face. Why can't they see it? What's the point of a legal system that protects criminals? Apollo, remember what Daddy said? It won't be easy proving he did it. Especially not under the current court systems. Tim. So what do I do? Like I said, good luck. And be or will be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Every man has an igniter inside him. Find Darian Crescent's igniter and set it off. I wonder what he meant by every man's igniter. I think he just meant a weak spot, no? The kind of thing that a single spark would turn into a wildfire of emotion. I won't be able to press him further by conventional means. Gotta find a weak spot in the guy. Something fatal. So, can I get back to work now or what? It looked like I got a lot of time on my hands. Got more time to play pretend with his dead weight attorney.
Well, Mr. Justice, we've come this far without decisive evidence. This witness won't be coming back to the stand once we let him go.
Safety save. Every man has an igniter.
Huh?
Didn't you say the better the guitar, the brighter it burns, Prosecutor Gavin? Ah, yes. Good guitars are kept dry is why. That provides the best sound. Even a small spark could cause irreparable damage. Your plan has an igniter in it too, Detective. It was there from the very beginning. What? Fighting time, Justice! If you blow this one, he'll be out of your hands for good. Go for it, Apollo! What? And this igniter's supposed to come burn me up? That's almost poetic there, Mr. Attorney. All the better. I'm rather fond of poetry. And I intend to hear this one through to the very end. Air Forehead, you are accusing this man, Darian Crescent, of 2 crimes. The murder of Mr. Latouche, and the smuggling of a Borginian cocoon. This is your last chance to prove your case.
This trial has already run on for too long. Mr. Justice, this will be my last warning. The moment this igniter of yours turns out to be a dud is the moment this cross-examination ends. Understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then, let's have it. Show us the basis these accusations against Darien Crescent.
Okay, this really is my last chance. The key that will take apart Darien Crescent's plan is... Oh, I can present evidence or call a witness. I have to imagine that calling a witness is what's going to do. It's a person, isn't it? I remember that Darien said that he didn't like either of us. Was that the smoking gun? That like Trucy or Valent is the person that will really set him off? But the thing is, I can't quite recall what the case is for that. No? It's not a person, or it's not either of those two. Or maybe it's Claudia. There's one person who knows the truth of the crime. Oh. So it's Machi, isn't it? Your igniter isn't a piece of evidence. Huh? So what is? It is true that I couldn't show decisive evidence, but perhaps what I needed to prove my case was something else. You mean, a witness? Proving his guilt is a tall order, but I've got just the person to do it.
Very well, Mr. Justice. Who is this person that can prove Darien Crescent's guilt?
The one person who can prove Darien Crescent's guilt is the defendant, Machi Tobai.
Your client? Again?
That's pretty obvious now that you think about it. Machi Tobai was an accomplice of the cocoon smuggling plot. Without him, Darien Crescent could not have gotten the cocoon. Furthermore, he can easily prove that the one who plotted to smuggle the cocoon is the real criminal in the case.
How so?
It would require just one of the very cocoons Mr. Letus was looking for. With the cooperation of the Republic of Virginia, we could burn a cocoon. The burnt cocoon would leave a particular residue. A residue we would, no doubt, also find inside the burnt-out guitar.
Ah, very scientific of you.
Thus, if Machi Tobai acknowledges his agreement with Darien Crescent concerning the attempted smuggling of the Virginian cocoon, the case is solved. Darien's laughing again. Your unrelenting passion is remarkable. You really want to get me, don't you? Too bad you'll never be able to. Why not? Little Kate Tickler won't acknowledge anything, especially not anything to do with cocoon smuggling.
What's all this about?
Taking a cocoon out of the country means death. By Borginian law. Ugh. Yeah, see? If our pianist really was a smuggler, and testifying about it would be suicide. Believe me, he's not talking, but you're wrong, Detective Crescent. What? It's the other way around. If Machi doesn't admit to smuggling here, he's in deep trouble. Huh? How? Look, if Machi admits to smuggling here, then he'll be tried in our courts, by our laws. You don't get the death penalty for smuggling in our country. The victim in this case was an undercover Interpol agent. I'm sure that news has already reached Virginia. Then they'll likely broadcast our dealings in court today, including the part about the Borginian cocoon. Yeah, but... But if Machi doesn't admit to smuggling now, he'll eventually be picked up by the Borginian police. And it's not like he's in any danger in our court. We're not gonna find him guilty of murder here. Not now. Yeah, but you can't do this! You can't accuse me! Maybe the law doesn't allow it, but who's going to think you're really innocent after hearing this trial? The same goes for Machi Tobai. Ugh! The cocoon smuggling, your entire plan. Machi Tobai knows everything. There's only one way out of it for him, and that's to acknowledge his own crime. The crime of cocoon smuggling! Is he about to freak out? He's about to crash? Don't worry there. I'll get you out of the country. I'll set you up someplace. A hidden mansion? Real nice. You want a house made out of cookies? Or a house made out of pianos? Come on. Please! Don't take! Clavier is really doing the rockstar version of playing the world's tiniest violin. Darian, I consider that my last session with you. We rocked. I'm guessing we can treat that outburst as a confession. Oh, he's laughing again. There's a kind of sick desperation in it now, though. Well, have you been listening to today's trial? Yes. And you'll talk. You'll tell the court everything. I didn't want to turn out this way, but I'm not the kind of lawyer that can overlook a crime. Today's trial was all for your benefit, you know? I see no reason why you should hesitate now. I knew. From beginning. I know. Machi, situation, I cannot explain, but money. I needed. Very much money. Today's trial raises a delicate issue with our legal system. The only thing definite in a court of law is evidence. This is the golden rule, however. It has become apparent that not all things can be tried by this standard. Should another case of this sort surface, we may have to consider an alternate system by which to administer justice. Anyway, Mr. Machi Tobai. Yes? I promise you will receive a fair trial by the laws of our country, and with regards to the current charges for the murder of Mr. Letus, this court is prepared to announce a verdict. Ah, look at that award-winning smile. I thank you. I only lie, but you see truth. You find truth. That's our job. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Machi Tobai, not guilty. Court is adjourned. And now for the final optional extra credit. Take that, which I never get right. I wonder what will happen to Machi. Well, he did smuggle a cocoon out of Borginium. I guess there'll be another trial here. All's well that ends well. Daddy! I owe you both my thanks. Namir, what? Oh, hi, is something wrong? I'm sorry, Machi was your partner on stage. Your friend. Thank you for the hooray. Yes, I thought of him as my own son. Even now I do. Yet, something got a hold of him. something evil. I see that. And he must pay for what he has done. Is that not how it should be? I'm still sorry. Do not be sorry. You have given me courage. Courage? I am considering an operation. It was my suggestion, actually. You mean you'll be able to see again? It's funny. I have always been afraid of the light. Light seems so harsh, so unforgiving. According to the doctor, Lemurois lost her sight due to some sort of accident. An accident? As you know, I suffer from amnesia. I feared that if I could see, perhaps he would open my eyes to the truth I have been running from. I was scared. You know what changed her mind? Hearing your defense in there today. She could feel your gaze, unwavering, always looking straight at the truth. If the light returns to my eyes, I think I will take up painting. Painting? That's right! She's the landscape painter in sound, after all. I will paint the two of you. I promise. Woohoo! I can't wait, Lemurois! I owe my thanks to you too, Apollo. Thanks, Mr. Wright, but for what? You reminded me I need to hurry things along. On my secret mission, that is. Right, your secret mission. Apollo, Trucy, I hope we'll meet again someday soon. You bet! Me too! And so, like a ballad, the trial flowed on and on until it came to the end. Thanks to the trial, the guitar serenade was a huge hit. Prosecutor Gavin's even more dazzling to look at now. But there's something I want to say to that guy. Next time you write a ballad, have them catch the killer at the end. The end. GG's, my friends. Funny how they give you the name of the next episode. Turnabout Succession. Continue on to the next episode. We're way past our bedtimes here. Thank you all for the GG's. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And, yeah. I'm gonna let everyone go to bed. We need a nice long rest after all of those trials and tribulations. But thank you all for your assistance and for your support. James, Mother Catone, Flair, Solaris, Matthew, Joshua Kane, or should I say Joshua Kane? And of course, thank you if you're watching this stream as a VOD. So you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment, ring the bell, join the Discord. It's in the description. It'll let you know when the next stream comes up. And next time, this game will re-adjourn for the fourth and final case. We'll see what exactly they mean by turnabout succession. Maybe we'll know more about Phoenix's secret mission. And who knows, maybe some old faces will turn up to take one more crack at their own secret missions. It's the big one, with many twists and turns. That's right. Next time, more twists, more turns. Until then, game out.